Hello, welcome to Waiting for Game, a podcast presented by Melee Stats. We
Oh
have a
man.
jam-packed episode today. This is, a revelatory experience that we've all had. Definitely revelations across the board. Just coming back from Genesis 8. I personally got home. I got home yesterday morning,
Mm.
and I'm about to leave tomorrow morning for Pound. We've got my good friend and roommate this past week, and we've got Edwin Budding. And we've got I think this is his fourth time. I think we have a new entry to the Four Timers Club. We've got Toph. What is going on, everyone?
Hey, what's up? I am Toph. I was definitely not saying hi to someone in my stream. Dude, good to see all of you guys for the first time. I think I saw all you guys together this week, and I usually only
Yeah.
see Wheat. Usually,
Yes, you do.
and now I get to see more of you guys. So, but not JD, I guess. Yet.
No, he's the man behind the shadows. That's what he's supposed to say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, an
Mm-hmm.
amazing weekend. I mean, we're gonna get into all of it, so there's gonna be a lot to talk about. But I just want to say,
Okay, I'll turn up.
To-
Sorry about that.
oh,
Hello.
good. No,
I'm working
Toph.
on my audio setup here. Hang on, hang on. Apparently, you guys are quiet. I got to turn you guys up. Hang on, hang on, hang on. Oh boy. Okay, go. Okay.
But
Hi.
go. Thank you. Yeah. I you mentioned it. I've been to main stage. I obviously
Mhm.
went to Smash World Tour finals because I was working the event. I went to the Smash World Tour regional finals for the North American events. So like going to an event post pandemic is not really new to me. I've been to a
Mhm.
few, but I was not prepared. It felt like such a different experience. I thought that we were back, right? Back. But Genesis really told me that was Melee, that was fun, that was good and all. I like 2021 land Melee, but that was
Yeah.
just like the precursor, right? This is back. It felt so different, it felt so real. Toph, I know you've been to a lot of things in 2021. How did it feel to go
Mhm.
to this?
Yeah, definitely in a much more uh definitely it was a much more I don't even think there was an entrant cap this time around, right? Even just logistically speaking. It was way more like the way things used to be. And there's this kind of thought on the back of everyone's mind, of course, that there's other tournaments actually coming up now that aren't invitationals. There's Pound. There is actually a slew of tournaments coming up, Emerald City, Low Tide, Function, leading up to Summit. So it definitely feels more legit, especially with like Mango and Zane entering, right? Because they didn't enter Riptide. They didn't really do Smash World Tour. Um, it really felt, and even looking at the bracket, right? I think that it's kind of probably pretty inarguable that like the Genesis bracket was just a lot more stacked than Riptide, just in terms of all
Yeah.
the players that were there. So yeah,
It's like
good
one
to
of
be
those
back.
shows where they're like, skip the first season. Go to season
Yeah,
2. That's how I feel. 2021 was
yeah,
fun. I lived it. It was good, but
yep.
it just like feels like that was kind of a filler before 2022. It just feels so real. If you look on meleestats.co, you might even find an article talking about how this is the what Edwin, it's your favorite tournament you ever attended. Is that what this is?
Mm.
Yeah, so like I have every major I've gone to always carries a distinct memory with me, right? I talked about this earlier this week. How something Yingling once told me was, every time I don't know what. I mean, I know what Yingling sounds like. I don't have a good impression of him, but anyways,
Okay,
he
do
was
an impre-
saying
I don't
just
know.
do
I
a
can't do
diff-
a Yingling impression
just
either.
do a different impression then.
he was saying that his goal for every tournament attendee for his events is that they go to his event and they have a story of some sort, right? So I kind of was thinking about what Yingling told me, and I wanted to apply
Wow.
that to like all the tournaments that I went to in my life, right? Like, what is the story of Royal Flush? Well, the story of Royal Flush was that it's where I met Wheat for the first time, and it was like the
Mm.
first Melee Stats major, right? And it ended in the 15-game Mango Armada Grand Finals. It was
14.
awesome, right? So what is the
14.
story?
It was 14 games. That's
Mango
a
Armada
fun.
was 15 at Royal Flush.
I think it was 3-1 in what semis?
No, I'm
Ooh.
pretty sure it was 15 because 14 was
You guys put
14 was
money on
Big
it.
House
You guys
6.
put money on it.
But okay. I'll put money on it. You want to look it up right now?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right.
Want to put a hundo?
No, I don't want to put 100.
$1.
Dude, I don't know if you guys
pick somewhere in between 1 and 100. Pick a 2-digit number.
5 is a really 5 or 10 are the really solid ones.
Yeah, I'm down.
For what?
I'm down for 10.
Edwin's never
Okay.
done this before.
Let's do 10.
Yeah,
Actually,
it was 3-2.
Nah, I don't know about that. I don't know what you're looking up right now.
Someone in chat seems to support the game 15 theory.
Mm.
And adds that Mango always talks about it. Although Mango might be misremembering.
Mango might be misremembering.
No, I'm looking at the bracket like right now.
It could have been misreported.
Could have been misreported.
Edwin, it's funny how the world works is that sometimes the lies get repeated.
No, it was 15 games.
The history is written by the victors.
JD, let's put it on right now.
By the victors.
There's no need to put anything on stream.
Let's put it right on the stream right now. It was 15 games.
Someone in chat said Edwin has a gambling problem.
That is true. I distinctly remember Jungle Guy making a bet that it was 15 games and he lost the bet.
He might have been thinking of Big House 6 because
no, it was at Royal Flush.
How would Jungle Guy mix up a Big House with Royal Flush? Jungle Guy runs one of those tournaments.
Wait, so more importantly, did you agree to the bet? $10?
No. If you're gonna ask me after it, no, I didn't agree to that.
Wait, so then you acknowledge that you were wrong then?
No, I never said that. I never got the bet, but I will continue to believe that I was right.
No, you're so wrong, dude. You have to admit it. You got owned here.
So before we got into this, you were talking about how Royal Flush you met me. It was both of our birthdays. Yeah. Of course, famously we share a birthday, the two of us, but we also share one with Pokimane, the 3 legends of Melee.
Wow.
Probably one of the most important days in Melee history, honestly. But
wow.
You're talking about that event. What did this event mean to you, Edwin?
Well, this is the first event that I really felt like. So, look, we saw a bit of LAN events in 2021. We saw invitationals. We saw bigger tournaments that didn't quite get like the same kind of a, they weren't like a Genesis caliber event, right? If it was an open event. So it had been like, what, 2 years since the first since Genesis 7. Going into this one, it really felt like the first time we had seen this whole like this pandemic generation of scene contributors and leaders like all meeting each other for the first time in like official capacities, right? Like doing things for the scene. I feel like for a lot of my time early in the scene, like obviously I felt part of the scene and everything, but I felt like I was joining something that was already established. Like the work had been laid by other people before us. So like it was, everyone was part of the scene, but it never felt like, like the old guard was there, right? Like they had kind of done everything, right? Whereas like,
so you feel like this time you were a contributor.
I felt like this time, not just me, but like, my friends made, some of my friends and people I knew made top 64 who came up in the current era. So many,
we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
Yeah, sorry about that.
We'll bring it up.
Talk about Seal.
Yeah, we're obviously talking about Seal here.
Yeah, but
I talked to Seal.
Yeah.
Seal also had
his run was crazy. He but anyway, so it's like you see people like Nathan and Jade like running a ton of stuff at the event. You see
Card
the top,
doing production,
doing production. You see the top 4. It's all people coming up in like the post 2014 and beyond era. It was for a lot of us, it's the first time like not only are we in like a notable capacity, but it's the first time that like we're even like in a major top 8. Usually when Mango's not there, it kind of like sours the event a little bit, right? But this time, like, it's almost like all the energy just went to Jmook, and like for even IBDW to an extent, like if you watch his Fox play,
I actually kept thinking they were cheering for Mango. They would the way they were chanting Jmook, it actually sounded like they were chanting Mango.
Yeah, it was just. It was so special. It really felt like the start of like, Melee was like this in the past. But now we're in 2022 Melee. The gameplay is the highest it's ever been. These are the people on top of the scene in all these different capacities. Like this is the new generation of like, and like obviously, the old generation is still there, helping everyone else, guiding everyone. Obviously, there's still like old players at the top. Who knows? Right. Maybe Mango wins Pound, but like maybe the way that it really feels like the beginning of a completely different era of Melee, and I'm so excited for it because it has been too damn long that we've like seen Melee in the community and the people on top in like one sense. We've been rooting for the same players. We've been rooting against the same players for so long, and now we have something that's so unique, and the game is so fast now, Toph. It's just like it's beautiful
fast.
Melee.
It's not. Edwin, this
And-
begs the question.
Yeah.
Is the era of Five Gods finally over?
Hasn't it been over for years?
Yeah, I mean, how could it not be? The three of them aren't around anymore.
I think the era of the Five Gods officially ended when Plup won Genesis 6. I think that was when it was like now we have Leffen. Yeah, but with Leffen it was like still
This
like
one-
you know it's
I guess,
read
yeah.
And then with Plup it's like okay, there's too many of these fuckers now that you know. I think that's when it ended, Genesis 6, or at least that's when it like everyone has to agree that it ended. You know what I mean?
Toph, I never told you like my troll video idea. So I had this idea and I ran it by
Xbox
Ambi.
One Genesis 5 chat. You guys are all tripping. Melee says, "Do you want to back me up?" My chat is yelling at me that no, Plup won Genesis 5, but they're idiots.
No, do you want to put $10 on it? I'm $10 in the hole right
Plup
now.
won
Yeah, we'll
Genesis
put $10 on Plup. Well, let me
Plup on Genesis 5, Xbox
Armada
One
1,
Genesis
2,
6.
3.
Do you want to put
traded?
11? I want to try to get in the black on this one.
Oh,
I
am
don't
I
wanna
thinking
break
that it was
even.
2016? Oh, okay. No, I'm the idiot. I was thinking Genesis was like Big House, where the number of the year.
No.
All right.
Oh fuck. Okay, you
In
guys
that
got me.
case,
Good
just
shit,
pay Edwin.
No, I gotta pay
My
my chat.
debts are erased. Pay Edwin. Yeah, no, I mean, obviously the era of the Five Gods is over and everything, but it really felt like an insane experience just watching it. And I'm watching this, and I'm truly believing that the two best players in the world are very possibly people who started in like 2015, right? Watching Zayn and IBW play was just this experience of like I was talking to IBW after at the after party, where I mentioned him. I said. First off, it was like fucking Minesweeper trying to like tell him he did great while also be like a tournament he lost. But he was in a great mood. He thought it was amazing. And I told him, I was like, so often the best sets that we think of are usually sets where it's bad melee, right? That's like what we love to see. We did the fucking best sets of all time. And like usually what happened is it's just like
You know why that is, by the way? I have a theory about that.
Yeah, give me a theory.
It is just way more likely because so we like sets that are close.
Yeah.
And for a set to be close and go to game 5, it's just way more likely that both players are playing average versus both players are playing 10 out of 10. It's just very rare that both players are literally playing God tier. You know?
Yeah, it's a hard dice to roll to have two players playing at their top. But
Right,
I
right.
like
because you have to
Dude, that's what Zayn IBW looked like to me.
Because think about it. Even I love that you bring up dice. Because if you roll 2 dice, you know what I'm saying? What are the odds?
One might be a 6.
But the other one might be like a 3, and then you get like a fucking blow up. You know what I'm saying?
So do we love Snake Eyes sets? What's a Snake Eyes set?
Chris Best versus Net 1 2 3 4.
Yeah,
That's a Snake Eyes set.
We mentioned the same thing. That is a Snake Eyes set.
Yeah,
I guess one is like the thing that,
But anyway,
that's better.
No, but that set was legitimately every single thing that happened. I clapped at like every single stock that was taken. I was like, I don't have a dog in this fight, or a horse in this race or whatever. I just want to see whatever was going to happen because I knew that whoever was winning that was winning the tournament. Now IBW did lose to Jmook after, so I know people are going to try to own me. But the IBW that wins and goes to winners finals, I believe takes it all home.
I agree.
He looked amazing.
I completely agree. I think that set, IBW versus Zayn, winner semis, that will be the set that like I don't know if it has like the same kind of like all-time magic to it as like Mango Zayn at Summit 11 or something like Mango Armada at the first Genesis, but purely in terms of gameplay and like things to take away from it, that was like, it was genuinely one of the most like, I think it might honestly be, I mean, I have to think about it. Like, I'm sure you could find sessions like when they're just playing friendlies against each other that are higher because there's no tournament nerves. But for tournament gameplay, it's going to be really hard to top that.
It was about as good as it got. Yeah. And especially just because, I mean, you could tell, right? That's the one Zayn popped off on. Like, Zayn didn't pop off after winning winners and grands. He popped off after that set. Because, right?
I would not be happy if he popped off after grands.
Now, that being said, he was very emotional after grands. I saw him backstage and he was fighting back tears. So he definitely really wanted to win that set. But I think that was more about the tournament than the set itself.
Yeah,
right?
my man was definitely all
Which is
red
a
eyes and
distinction.
smiles at Guildhouse afterward.
Mhm. Red eyes and smiles. That should be the name of a R&B album. Me.
Let's
Get
get IB on
Scar
it.
to make it.
Let's keep it within
Mhm.
Smash.
Speaking of red eyes and smiles.
You know, I took a red eye home.
Wow.
And I got a
Topical.
nap on it, so I was smiling.
Really? That's enough sleep for you? I feel terrible
No.
for red eyes.
No, but I felt, I'm chasing the
You were
red eye
just trying to
high.
tie it all together. Yeah.
I had one great
Yeah.
one. I was trying
Yeah.
to tie it all together. Didn't really work now. But coming back from Genesis 6, I took a red eye, and it was an amazing experience. I got to hang out in San Francisco for the day with my good friend Dingus Master.
Yeah.
Bit of
Hey,
a pool.
This is so. I obviously I know Dingus pretty well from Twitch chat, but I don't know that I super duper like have talked to him, interact with him IRL. You know when Mango says "ding"? Is that the same guy?
No, so
That's a different guy, right?
So the
That's
lineage
Ding, yeah.
apparently. So yeah,
Dings.
that's a different ding, but Dingus Master was I believe a mod at some point in Mango's chat. So if he pops in, there's
That's
like
why
a
it's confusing.
yeah, there's like certain verbiage used. Mango calls him old ding, and then there's just like the ding that does not have to have a modifier. But no, God, why do I talk about this red eye story? I had a great red eye. Slept the entire time, and then ever since then I've been taking red eyes back from California, and each time is bad. But this one I had a little bit of a nap, so I'm on a neutral experience. Segue to Toph. What was your what were you about to say?
Stand out. What was I? I wasn't about to say anything.
This
Was
is,
I?
No. This is I'm trying to gaslight you into speaking about something.
Standout moments from Genesis. Is that what we're talking about?
If you like.
Standout moments from Genesis. Let's see. First of all, really glad Genesis is back in San Jose. Of course, the last couple ones were in Oakland. Nothing against Oakland, but just like the proximity of the venue to the top 8 venue, or I should say like the hotels are in the top 8 venue. It's like right
Definitely.
there. Guildhouse being right there. I don't know if you guys went to Guildhouse much.
Yeah,
but it was a really, really cool venue that was like a block away that like 200 smashers were basically partying at each night.
Setups.
Which was insane. A lot of setups. Yep. Shout outs to the one guy, me and fucking Zeke from Golden Guardians. We were watching this fucking cracked out like Asian dude just at like, there was like, the whole crowd around him, and he was just at a computer, just fucking grinding StarCraft 2 in the middle of the club. And we were transfixed watching this guy play StarCraft 2 for like 20 minutes. It was insane. His APM very high. I know it's not Brood War, but shout outs to that guy. I feel like
that's
that's
in the sauce, dude.
Just exactly in the middle of the club, just party people all around him, just locked in, headphones. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of doing his thing. It was very poetic in a way.
I want to talk about a historic set, a truly one of a kind set at Genesis 8. I don't know if any of you saw it deep in the middle of top 64, Ben versus ChuDat. A 5-game last stock barn burner.
So apparently, I still want to. I've only seen the camera footage from like the last 30 seconds, but like Ginger was talking about that set earlier on the stream, and he was like, "Oh god, if you actually watched it, it was so ugly," which makes sense.
Yeah,
I don't know what Ben did to deserve this. Like, I don't really know, but I just see this happen. I'm like, it would be Ben. Like, I don't really have like any reason to believe that like Ben has a history of having these sets happen to him, but just like I watched this,
it feels
like,
correct. It feels right.
Of all people, Ben. Yeah, no. So to give some context, Ben is a Sheik player who he had a couple different characters for the Ices matchup. When he got like good, I guess, when he was notable during the online era, he started using Marth, and that was working fine. It was like not an answer, but like not definitively not the answer. And then all of a sudden he's like, I'm gonna play Luigi. I think this was his character who he played as like a joke. He would enter like locals as Luigi.
Shout out to Ben 2.
Shout out to Ben 2, and not the actual player from St. Louis named Ben 2, which is very confusing. And then he just decides, you know what? What am I doing? I'm playing Luigi over here. I can't, like, I've got trouble with Ices. What if I just merge the two? And it seemed to be a bad decision until he actually did it, and he beat like every ICs ever. Like he beat Slug, he beat I actually don't know any other ICs right
Lunar
now.
Dusk, Lunar Dusk.
He beat Lunar
He started
Dusk.
farming them, Toph, like very ugly
Lunar
sets.
Dusk.
Yeah,
And he was farming him.
yeah. So Ben was like, he was not only beating all the Ice Climber players with Luigi, he loved the matchup. He would constantly talk about how fun he found it and how like he hated Ices for so long and he hated losing them, but now he like wished he'd only get brackets of Ice Climber players just so that he could
Really?
make them feel terror and play and uses and like he would. It wasn't just like he was gimmicking them or whatever. Like he would study the matchup, like all the RPS in it. Like he genuinely loved playing Luigi's Ices, and he's like, I really hope I get a bracket of Ices so I can just farm all of them with Luigi. So
this is why I was shocked, because I was like, dude, I feel like the last 20 tweets I've read from Ben's Twitter were all about Luigi. Like I don't
yeah.
know if Twitter's algorithm is filtering out non-Luigi related tweets to me. But I feel like I'm like, dude, all he tweets about is fucking Luigi these days. Like that's his whole Twitter persona. Yeah.
He was so Jokerfied. He was so Jokerfied on Ices that he finally and then he runs into ChuDat. Before the set, Chu asks him, he says, hey, you're Ben, so you're a Sheik player, right? And Ben is smiling because like Chu's fallen into his trap. And he goes, I don't know, am I a Sheik player? They both double line pick. And Ben like destroys him game one. It's like he like 2 stocks him or like 3 stocks him or something. And Chu goes like, okay, like I guess your Luigi's pretty good, huh? And like he kind of nervously laughed. Then he picks Mario and 3 stocks his shit game 2. He just picks. This is not like a premeditated thing. He just like,
Mario
I guess I'm gonna
doesn't
go
win that
Mario
matchup.
for fun.
No.
And now you got a counterpick war.
In fact, now a very good Marth player, but we all know Koopa Troopa 895 Mario player. Koopa would talk to me about how he did not like the Luigi matchup. He just thought that Luigi had like outranged Mario in like any scenario. So I heard this and I was very in shock. And I go over just in time to see the 3 stock happen. And then the next game it's like we're back on track, right? Ben, I believe it's what is this? We're Icy's Luigi on
Icy's
Dreamland,
and this might have been the most important game of the set.
Yeah,
because it's where Chu swung the counterpick war in his favor.
It was a 3 stock comeback, I believe. I think it was a 3-1 stock comeback.
Insane.
And it was I don't know, it was not incredibly pretty.
Rough.
But yeah, what was your point of bringing this up? Now ChuDat is cemented as like a top 12 player of all time because of this. Is this where you're going?
No, I just think like we live in an era like so much of this tournament was incredible melee, and I feel like and like Ben, he still had a pretty good tournament, all things considered. Making it deep into top 64 at Genesis. No small feat to accomplish. I just think that was a set that like it's sort of like. I just think it's crazy that this guy was so good and like literally like went through this entire story arc of destroying all the Ices and like starting his own reign of terror over him. And it just like it is really remarkable that it just ended to this like timeless human being that just he probably wasn't even thinking about it. Like that's melee, right? Like you literally just this guy who's been playing for like 20 years just went like a character he probably hasn't played in like years and beat this guy who like none of the ICs could figure out.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a ChuDat style counterpick. The thing about ChuDat style counterpicks is that it's never pretty.
You never want to get into a war with him on it too, right? Like I feel like it'll always end badly.
Right. Because he pulls you into his zone. Because he's done it before, right? The last time I think we saw it at any sort of level of prominence was the DreamHack set with Mewtwo King, where he went. They ended up playing Ganon Fox, and that match wasn't pretty. It was not good. Objectively speaking, it was not one of the better Ganon Fox games. But it's more about the story of how we got there.
Yeah,
I don't truly understand what goes through his mind when he does stuff like this. Like there must be something, right? I mean, I guess I'll give him credit. Like this is not all it's not all off the cuff. But do you remember the Pound 2019 set that he had with Swedish? Swedish, who was very, very good at the ICS matchup because he played that just like annoying Peach Very hard to beat. And then Chu just whips out the Fox, and he just plays Fox Peach and then Fox Sheik, I think, and he just wins. He might not have played Fox Sheik. I know they played Fox Peach.
Fox Peach,
Yeah,
right?
they played Fox Peach and Choose
I-
Fox destroyed him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a long storied just like I don't get it. I don't know what the circumstances are, right? Like what's the if then statement for ChuDat going Mario or Fox or whatever?
Yeah, I don't know. I theorized yesterday that the Mario one is like Mario's Luigi's older brother.
True.
So, you've kind of got that familial,
Yes.
right? Much in
Cain
the
and
same
Abel.
way, Cain and Abel, Liquid Snake and Solid Snake. A lot of rivalries.
Liquid Ken and Mana Cloud.
Liquid Ken and Mana Cloud. There you go.
The deep cut.
Edwin, you want to chime in?
No, I have nothing else to say. I just wanted to bring up,
For
but
the whole
I just wanted to
podcast.
bring up
None also
ChuDat
said, by the
versus
way, that
Ed.
Luigi definitely just wins, and it's just really hard for Mario.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe maybe Chu, Chu's the kind of guy, like, he plays the player, right? So maybe Chu noticed something like, maybe he's recovering in a certain way that, like, I think I can cape this recovery, or you know what I mean? Like some little facet of it. I mean, I haven't seen the whole
Yeah, but
set, so.
like what little, like, if he recovers a certain, like, I'm trying to think, like, what would make someone be like Mario is the best
Mario,
option, right? It's so just, I don't know how that guy's mind works.
yeah. Why Mario? Why Mario? I don't think Chu has a Mario, really.
I really think it was just a familial, like, oh well, Luigi and Mario canon matchup, right?
Yeah,
I think to Chu that would make sense. Canon matchup.
It was just a first thought, best thought type thing. He's like Luigi, Mario.
Yeah,
They know
Mario.
each other.
Luigi, Mario. Right?
Joe, how do you have any thoughts on my theory that Dr. Mario is actually a third Mario brother?
Oh, you think it's just another person?
Well, what's Mario's last name?
Mario.
Yeah.
I think canonically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible, right?
So Dr. Mario would be, Doctor, his title, and then his last name.
Then his surname.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just kind of assuming Mario came from Dr. Mario came from like a different timeline. Like there was a split in the timeline.
Yeah.
And he's sort of just kind of it's like, the butterfly effect.
I talked to Walt
one
about
little
this,
thing
and
happened
he also
differently. And he got pulled through a time portal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, I asked Walt, I said, is this a different timeline? Is this a different guy? Or is this a different dimension? And
you think it's just a different. Okay.
I think it's a different guy. I think it's just another brother.
But there's lots of Mario shown to be a man of many talents. Suddenly really good at tennis, really good at go-karting. It's kind of like, what can't this guy do? Are those all different Marios? Are they different? What's going on there? It's hard to say.
This might be why Chu picked Mario. He's like Mario is good at tennis. Mario's good at golf. Like, give Mario something.
He might
to
be
do.
good.
And
yeah,
he's probably going to be good versus Luigi, and it worked out. So it's that type of thing. He showed us his work, and I didn't like, he did the work wrong, but the equation ended up right at the end. So like beating a Sheik player with ices. I wouldn't say that Mario versus Luigi is the way to get there, but you got there in the end.
I just fear for all of the aspiring ICs players that are going to think that this is like, like a real, like, oh, okay. Like, write that down. Okay.
Spending
So
5
someone
hours
goes
a week,
Luigi gets me. I got to go
grinding
Mario. Yeah, exactly. And all the ICs now are grinding their little pocket Mario. It's like, no, dude. No, dude.
I hope to see
There's
it.
at least one person, right, that like actually took that away.
I hope so. This is, we
yeah, I hope so too.
We're getting ready to, I'm not sure if we've already started, but we're getting ready to call this like the start of a new generation, right? It's like the Slippy generation. I think that, that's what the new generation should be. It should all be Icy's Mario dual mains.
Yeah, it makes sense. Well, about Mario climbers. It's two Marios running around. Yeah, one's sneak behind the other.
God.
Yeah. This was one of the first. I think this was like the first mod that someone made of like Icy style two characters being controlled, and it was Mario, and it was the Mario climbers.
I remember Ike climbers.
So, yeah, that makes more sense because at least there's some sort of vocabulary similarity.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
there you go.
let's talk about Fizz Mango.
I did watch that set. I did watch that set. I think so. The way I heard about this set was I was at the one of the worst. I'll say worse. Not one of the worst, but one of the worst esports team social media posts that I've seen. I was at the coffee shop with Zeke, who again is pertinent because he runs Golden Guardian social media, and we saw this tweet on Twitter, which was like, it was like this like really nice looking edited photo of Mango, like crying, like head in his hands, crying, and it
Oh
says
no.
defeat, and then it says 1-2 Fizzwiggle GG's with a sad face, and I was like, and it was like edited to look really raw, like it was like black and white. And I was telling Zeke, like, dude, you can't do this if your star player loses to a guy named, and I know Fizz is good, but it says Fizzwiggle, and I just could not take Fizzwiggle seriously. I don't know if you can, JD, I don't know if you can somehow pull up this tweet. It's on the Cloud9 account, but it's like, it's so, I was just like, dude, anyone who knows Mango and like doesn't intimately follow Super Smash Bros. Melee is gonna see this and think it's a fucking joke because the guy's name is Fizzwiggle. I didn't even realize Fizzwiggle was. I guess the story is that there's two Fizzes, right? There's Illinois Fizz and there's fucking Colorado Fizz, and I guess Colorado Fizz is just a homie. So it's like, you know what? You can be Fizz, I'll be Fizzwiggle, or something. At least that's the story as it was told to me. But yeah, it just I thought it was such a bad look. That tweet was like, oh my god, dude, come on. This is the worst way to have the news broken.
Mango needs to get himself a LeBron type deal. I don't know if you are aware of this. The Lakers did not have a good year.
Yeah.
I'll go back one step further. I don't know if you're aware of this. LeBron is on the Lakers. That's number
Yep.
one. Number two.
Yep.
Okay. Number one. LeBron's a basketball player.
Yeah. And it's
Okay,
the first time he's not in the playoffs for I think quite some time, right?
For quite some time. So they have incurred almost 50 losses this year.
God, there it is.
The social media accounts of every single team, you know, they'll tweet out something like whenever their team loses, because they win or lose, they have to tweet the result of the game. It's interactions. Everyone does it. And
yeah, you
whatever,
might as well, right?
Whatever they say, they'll say like final or something, or they'll be like, get them next time. Whatever they say, it's got like the air of like, it's just like, I guess we got to put something out.
Yeah.
LeBron has not been featured in any one of the 49 post-loss tweets. It's just like they'll have like always have a picture because pictures do well on Twitter. So it's always a picture of a player, and it's LeBron has never been in it. Statistically unlikely that just randomly out of 49 players, there's 49 chances their star player did not make it on here. So I say Mango's got to get on this.
And
like,
just so he has an
Dunk or
actual deal crafted. He has a customized deal that he will never be featured in, or is it just because it's in poor taste? By the way, from my chat, I'm pulling up the photo.
I don't know what it is, but might be a statistical anomaly that 49 times the star player is not on there once. So I say Mango's got to get a deal like that.
But the problem with that is that at least with the Lakers, you can just put another Laker. Yeah, like there's no other Mango. I mean, maybe you could like put a photo of I don't know. I just think it's so funny. Luis versus
Dunk on there.
You don't know who Fizzwiggle is? This sounds so stupid. Fizz sounds infinitely more respectable for whatever reason than Fizzwiggle. Fizzwiggle sounds so bad.
I do love the idea that if you have a confusing tag,
and it says pools R2. That's even almost worse. It literally says in the image pools R2. It's like, dude, come on.
They're just beating a man while he's down.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
I like the idea. If you have a confusing tag, you should just add wiggle to the end of it. Like, like don't change the tag completely. Just add wiggle.
Blur wiggle.
Amsa wiggle.
Amsa wiggle.
Give me that wiggle.
Yeah.
I think there's only one give me that wheat.
There's no J wiggle yet.
No, maybe that's what we need to make.
Yeah.
We need to craft one in the lab. But yeah, I mean, Fizzwiggle, who, going into this, you would think, okay, maybe that's the biggest upset that we'd see from a Sheik.
Is it still? Maybe it is.
Well, I mean, we gotta talk about maybe. I mean, by seed individually, yes, but like the run that Jmook had this entire time, by far, exceeded all expectations. I,
Yeah.
I, I have to say that is the
Story
that's
of
the
the
guy
tournament,
that came out of
easily.
here on top.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jmook's been around. Jmook is one of those people. If you know, you know. It's like, oh, don't go to a tournament that he goes to. Don't go to an upstate tournament. Jmook will be super hard to beat. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but that was it, right? He was the guy. Like, don't go to his region, because this random Sheik player will do some crazy things to you. And he actually did have some good wins. I think he beat like the Moon in 2017 or something, right? Like
Sure.
Mhm.
he was able to pick up some if people came to him. And then through online, unlike a lot of people online who were not able to go to a lot of events in person, who like, I'm going to go to an event every week. He kind of continued this era of mystery by really entering
Not
barely
entering
anything.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah, he did Four Loco Fight Night. I think he beat Aklo and Moki there or something. Just like some insane run. Um, and then he went to the Smash World Tour or Last Chance qualifier.
Yeah.
He got out there, and then he did pretty well in pools. I think he made bracket and got like 17th, 13th, maybe something around there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so he was known to be good, right? Like we know
Yeah.
that Jmook is good, but we
Also,
don't.
apparently, I think notably, I guess he beat Cody at Cody's first tournament, which is kind of funny
Yeah, that's
because that's
information
like
that
full
I.
circle.
Yeah. Um, So that's
That's
that's an
crazy.
insane little bit. But yeah, like, we knew who Jmook was. I think everyone
Mm-hmm.
who pays attention to Melee did have some idea. But what happened this past weekend, I could not predict it. I doubt anyone outside
Yeah.
That's
of like
genuinely stunning.
Jmook's
I
mom
don't think
would have
anyone
would have
had him
predicted this.
in their fantasy bracket at getting
No.
second. Well, I also just think the way it happened, right? Like the people he beat, there's an argument. I heard Ginger was when I was in Ginger stream earlier for a while. In a certain way, he had a decent bracket for himself actually. But on the flip side, he had to get through some really, really, really challenging opponents like Plup in
Yeah.
particular. Plup, Cody, obviously on the way there. I think none in winter semis. That's about as good of a draw as you can ask for. And I guess in some ways, it was kind of funny because the match that I think really would have changed the story of this tournament is actually the match right outside of Winter's Top 8. Because obviously him and Laud went to
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys realize this. Him and Laud went to game 5 last stop. And
Mhm.
if Laud clutched that, Jmook was falling to losers in the middle, right smack dab into a slug warpath where he had just knocked out Spark and Crudo
And
no, but okay, most notably those two because
Yeah.
they're playing Sheik.
Yes.
Right.
Well, there's
And I was like,
Fizzwiggle, Spark,
and Fizz.
Crudo, just like
Oh god.
all of them, all the
All
Sheiks,
Sheiks.
just
And I was like,
feed
dude,
them right in.
I feel like Slug, if he gets that Jmook match, probably we're looking at a very different timeline where Slug's probably I mean, I don't know how obviously Jmook's Icy's matchup is, but Slug was probably gonna make top 8.
Yeah,
And that would have been obviously insane because
insane.
Icy's hasn't done that since the wobbly ban. Just hasn't happened. And Slug was on a fucking long losers run. Like Slug went to losers like round of I don't know what the number is, but it was outside top 64. He lost to Salt.
Yeah, lost
So
Salt.
Toph, you've been around the scene for a while. I want to hear your opinion on this. Where does Jmook's run to second rank in terms of like the least expected and most impressive like underdog tournament runs of all
Yeah,
time?
yeah.
For you?
Isn't it kind of on the order of like Wobbles Evo 2013? Maybe even more impressive.
I think it
to
might
be
be
honest
more
with
impressive
you.
because Wobbles was always just outside the like,
Yeah.
like everybody
Wobbles
knew
was
he
like
was
borderline
good.
top 10, right? At that
Mhm.
point. I think
Yeah.
Wobbles was like probably top 10 in the world already. But Jmook
Jmook was 21 seed. And that's
I
not like
think
an unreasonable thing. Like
It
that.
was actually
right.
great seeding. Whoever did
Yeah,
it,
it
I
was
think that was the correct seed.
yeah, excellent seeding by
Mhm.
a very handsome man. I
And
might
yeah, I think
add.
whoever seeded is very handsome. No, yeah, Jmook is. I think the thing about his bracket is that there's a lot of ways to go into Genesis. This was an event that was pushed back. This was an event that still is in a time where people are a little, worried about COVID. Maybe not as
Mhm.
much as they were, but it
Mhm.
still exists. So there were a lot of DQs. So going into an event and being like, this
Yeah.
person like had an insane run. You might want to think that DQs had to deal with this, and in a way, they had a small, like a small effect on this. But you look at what he did, and regardless of who was supposed to be in his path, what he did was
To
amazing,
go to a
right?
top,
Like
Mhm.
every
you know
single,
what I mean?
yeah. Like, forget the fact that he might have had to play Leffen, of course. That would have been something that would have been hard. But like, I feel like he made up for all of the stuff that he would have missed out on because just how amazing his run was. He beat Cody,
Agreed.
so there's like no way I could be like, oh, dude, if Leffen was in his path or like if Moki was there, and
Right, right.
like
You just
yeah,
don't know.
yeah. I don't
Really
think
hard to
that.
say.
I mean, what? So what? He beat Lot. That's Peach. He beat None. That's Falcon. He beat Cody. That's Fox. It wasn't like, oh, this is the perfect Sheik bracket, right? He chain grabbed 10 Sheiks to get second. This was
Mhm.
a varied bracket that we saw. This was a bracket that, I mean, I think Nunn's really good. I think Cody's
Mhm.
amazing versus Fox. Possibly the best Fox versus Sheik right now, and all of this looked like just so masterful.
Yeah,
It's beautiful
I
play.
mean, honestly, the way Jmook was playing, like, he might have even just beaten Slug, right?
Yeah.
Again, I don't really
Maybe.
know.
Who knows?
I kind of assume that everyone who comes from, like, the tri-state area is, like, pretty good against ICs because there was a time where there were just a gazillion ICs up there. I think Frycook was even kind of in that area, if I remember correctly.
Jersey, I
So,
believe.
yeah, I don't know. There's no way to is Jersey okay. Yeah, I there's no way to say, like, it really only looked like Zayn, who was solidly, like, beating Jmook that weekend, and I think that's just kind of a level of preparation.
Yeah.
Um, I think Zayn definitely like the player that looked by far, I guess, the most prepared overall. It just didn't feel like anything, and he had to play obviously a wild variety of players because he had Amsa, he had
Mhm.
Cody, he had Jmook. Um, but yeah, everybody else, Jmook might have just been able to beat. So I don't know. We saw how good he looked against Falcon with none.
Yeah,
Um, so
amazing.
even
He looked
Wizzy,
like he would never lose to Falcon. He
Yeah,
looked like he
yeah,
was
it
just
looked it looked really insane. It looked really insane. So, I mean, I think the big question now, and I think what I really appreciate about Jmook is I like that he's on Twitter saying, to be honest with you, the expectations are going to be completely different from here on out, and I'm probably not going to live up to him first. Like, I'm probably going to
yeah,
drop the ball a couple times because that's kind of how these things go, right? That's kind of how these things go. Like Wobbles was the same way. It's not like we just suddenly saw Wobbles getting top 3 at every tournament for a while or anything like that. But it seems like Jmook's got the right attitude about it. And I feel like the last time I really saw that in a competitor, someone who broke out in a really major way, and then they didn't like let that weight of expectations just eat them alive. To me, was actually Zayn. I felt like Zayn kind of epitomized that for me a couple years ago when he broke out, where I was like, oh, this guy's got a. He's not like letting it define him. He's not letting his victory define him because that can be very fragile, right? So I thought that was very promising from Jmook. Can't wait to see what
yeah.
he does. Do you guys know if he's going to Pound, by the way?
He's not going to Pound.
No,
I,
he's
I
not.
Okay,
messaged
great.
him.
So there's still a shot. There's still a shot that I can do King of the Cube with him. Excellent.
Yeah, I let him know. I was like, hey, dude, Pound registration's ended, but I will sneak you in. Like I will do what it takes. But no, it's a little too short notice for him. So who knows? I mean, he has. Hey, you talk about how he's got a great head on his shoulders. Maybe that's what keeps him back from being a great Smash player. He might just be too smart. He might be too well adjusted. We
Yeah.
he might not make it. No, but you talk about adjusted to the atmosphere. Like, so we saw the 3-0s on None. We saw the 3-0 on Cody. They were insane, right? Like, you can put these sets if you just watch the VODs, or if these are SLP files, this would look amazing. But it goes further than that, right? This wasn't a net play tournament. This wasn't like off stream in the like corner. This was on the biggest stage they've ever been on. I believe the only
Mhm.
probably stage he played on prior was Smash World Tour Finals. This
Yeah.
was like in the fucking auditorium in the Civic Center, um,
Hmm.
with all the lights on him, all the crowd cheering, and he was still able to do that. He was still able to 3-0 two players and make it
Yeah.
look amazing. Like, he had a flub here and there, uh, but honestly, when I saw that, I would not have been able to watch that gameplay and say that this guy has never been in a top 8 of a big tournament in his life. This guy's never played these people, right? It looked
Yeah.
as if, if you are someone You only watch our Genesis. You only watched Evo when we were on. You only watch summits or whatever. If you tuned into this, not paying attention for the last 2 years, you'd
Mm-hmm.
figure, oh, Jmook's just like a top 5 player right now, right? Like he's just been good this entire time
Mm-hmm.
because there was nothing in his actual play that would make you think that like there was any doubt to this or that he
No,
should be seated
no
21st or
nervousness.
whatever,
He played
right?
with such confidence. My God.
It was amazing. Yeah. I mean, we saw a
I
little bit
mean,
of that from Flash at Riptide, where Flash just seemed
mhm.
unfazed by stuff. But I think this is a different level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is.
I think Jmook, well, Jmook was even saying like backstage, before top 8, he was saying like he like really wanted to play on the stage. Like he
Yeah.
was like, I've always wanted this. I've always wanted to play. He just seemed really excited. He didn't even seem that nervous. He just seemed like he really wanted to be there and he really wanted to. He seems like the kind of player that kind of feeds into that energy. He was also not wearing headsets during any of. He was like the only player that at least that I noticed while I was commentating, that like opted to not wear a headset. And obviously the crowd's gonna be a lot more booming if you're not wearing one of those headsets, right? Feeding the game sound into you. So I don't know if that's any indication, but he might just like really like that environment, which is always a good sign.
Yeah.
Some players it psychs them out. Some players they kind of feed off of it.
Well,
For sure.
let's talk about, so I mentioned that if you were someone who was tuning in for the first time in years, Jmook would
Yeah,
appear to be a top 5, top 10 player.
right.
I know it's one tournament, but like I feel like this is just a sea change from what we've seen recently, right?
Mm-hmm.
In 2021, at the end of the year, I don't think you didn't do the blur rank, did you? You didn't have a ballot.
I did not. I don't remember why I didn't, but I didn't. I
So
kind of wish I did. I appreciate the project now that it's out, but at the time, I think it was the way he approached me about it. You know how Blur is. He's like, Toph, I'm doing this thing
Yep.
called Blur Rank. It's gonna change the game. And I was like, Blur, you're so fucking full of it, dude. But now I'm
he
like, all right, you know what? Good
we
stuff,
were
Blur.
we were getting food and we were talking about something. He was talking about how Melee needs to just take over a random city and then like run it. And he's like, we need like a
Yeah.
mayor. And I was Blur,
And it should be me.
who should our mayor be, Blur?
Yeah. And
And
he
yeah,
said
it's just a fucking wry smile. He doesn't even need to say it.
he just
But
nodded.
yeah,
Blur can't be our mayor. There'd be like a uprising. There'd be a revolution.
I don't know what we're
Okay,
getting
let me
into
see
with
this
that,
thing.
but
10
yeah, it's
Polish, 9 SFAT, 8 Hungrybox. So I think I think in terms of the top 10, I think 8 of those people, I think up to 8, it's probably maybe there's some shifting.
yeah.
What do you guys think?
Well, last year, when we got into it, so the blur rank has, the 1 through 10 of Mango, Zane, IBW, Plop, Wizard, Leffen, Amsa, HBox, SFAT, Polish.
Mhm.
Kadoran's outside on 11. He would have made like the like NA list,
Yeah.
I think that was a solid top 10, top 11 that like a lot of people agreed on. We had Dark Genix on the episode talking about it, and we actually, me, Dark Genix, and Edwin had the exact same top 10, like literally not even the
Mhm.
same players, but the same exact order. It was kind of an agreed upon thing for what we saw. And now we're looking at our first big event. We're looking at coming
Mhm.
off of, we had Giga Schwab. We've had other like online events where people are
Yeah.
entering. Ever since they got made fun of for not entering, so we have like a little bit of a wealth of data going into this, and we're probably gonna talk about this in fucking 2 months and have a different top 10. But who do you think is top 10? We watched Jmook's run, so the big question is Jmook a top 10 player currently?
And what are his losses from the last tournament he went to, which presumably was Smash World Tour?
Probably Smash World Tour. He lost to Frenzy,
Okay.
which was Frenzy, the UK player. And you know what? I am blanking on anything else he did there.
I think he lost to Amsa.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think he lost to Amsa in pools.
Okay.
That would have been like the Keizu Gatsu pool, right?
Yeah,
Um,
I think
I
he
don't think he
beat
beat
Gatsu because
Keizu.
he like downloaded Gatsu after looking kind of lost for the
Mhm.
first half of the
Mhm.
set.
It was reverse 3-0.
Yeah, and
And
I
I
think
don't think he beat Keizu.
no, so actually looking it up, so he beat Far 3-0.
yeah, I
He
Mhm.
remember that.
reversed 3-0'd Keizu.
Mhm.
Hmm.
He also reversed 3-0'd Gatsu, and then it was Amsa who was his one loss, which was a 3-0. So that was a 3-0, and then what he does in
So he did beat Keizu.
He reversed the Yokezu. He reversed the
Okay.
Yokezu and Gatsu. And
Okay.
he beats Sora 3-0. He goes and then loses a game 5 set to Frenzy. I think that is 13th place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for 13th place. So that's
I guess
his,
I feel like
Wait,
that's just
Frenzy
more
got
of a
ninth?
Frenzy.
yeah.
Yeah, Frenzy had a
Frenzy
very
got
good
ninth
run.
in Smash World Tour?
Vote for Frenzy for Summit.
Wow. You know he lost to Nintendo's Marth at the Smash Summit VIP bracket the weekend before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We remembered it when watching him.
And then
in person
Nintendo and then
thing.
Nintendo said to me, not to get anybody in trouble here, but I assume everyone from the UK is asleep, so I won't get I'm not starting any drama. But then Nintendo joked to me that Chillin's Falco was harder.
Wow.
But I think that was more of a compliment on Chillin than a ding on Frenzy. Everyone knows Frenzy's really good.
I mean, Chillin is a top 30 player all time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah. Top 30 player all time. That sounds right.
It's
Yeah.
so really
top
just
10 right now. I'll tell you who number one is.
top 10 right now.
Number one
Who's
is
number one
Zayn.
right now? Number one Zayn right now.
Sure.
That seems fair. Zayn and Mango were always, in my mind, Zayn and Mango were always close enough that, you know, it could swing pretty. It's not like one of them was necessarily solidly in my view.
The Zayn Mango tier, as we call it.
Zayn
But
Mango
it's
tier, as
still
we
the
call it.
Zayn Mango tier after the. Wait, tell me, has IBW taken Mango's number 2 spot?
I think we
Okay,
were.
I have a theory.
Let me hear your theory.
This is an outside view thing. I haven't even really talked to Mango about this. He actually, because he flew home, he didn't even like stick around for Sunday. But it seemed like he was kind of gassing out. Like he seemed physically like, he went on a really long losers run. And he looked even playing against Fizz, like he didn't look that good. And I feel like that's going to be one of the adjustments because the thing is, the same thing could happen to Zayn. Like if Zayn somehow fell to losers early, you do have to play twice as many sets. And I just think not even just for Mango, but I think what a lot of the top players are going to start realizing is that like stamina and like managing your like the physical aspect of being at a tournament is so different than playing online, right?
Yeah.
Or even Summit, where the matches are more spread out. You're guaranteed to have usually you have a very comfortable schedule at Summit. You have hours and hours between your games. Genesis, a tournament like that, especially if you drop to losers, you got to go back to back. It's possible Mango didn't sleep super duper well. I know he was also at the Cloud9 booth doing content. They had him at the Cloud9 booth doing content all weekend before and after his tournament run. And so unfortunately, because I think stamina is I think it's a major factor of offline events. And I think that it is the exact sort of thing that's going to screw over a guy like Mango, in my opinion. Yeah, it's more likely to happen to him.
Mango does seem more affected than someone like Cody. I guess, Toph, there's a question for you. Is it the Zayn Mango tier or is it the Zayn Cody tier?
Zayn, I don't know that it's.
I
think they're all kind of in a tier.
Or
the Jmook tier. That's what I like to hear. I mean, there's still. I think there's still. I don't think there's.
You think it's all three? All
defined.
3 in 1?
Well, even the frickin'. What's it called? I know it was rebranded, but the pre-GR, aka the old Pregger.
Yes,
the
Pregger. The PGR contenders.
The PGR contenders. Thank you. That's what it's called. The Pregger. The Pregger had I'll just call as I see them. Had them in the same tier basically, right? It was Mango, Zayn, and IBW. That was the tier. So I think I think there's a pretty solid argument for that. But I mean, I don't
that's
know.
Still the same.
I think, yeah. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's that solidly stratified. Like I feel like Amsa can beat those guys. I feel like Wizzy and Plup and Leffen can beat those guys. And it does sort of feel like it sort of shifts based on if you count online results or not, kind of how you figure that stuff into it.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Like,
isn't it? Don't you think so?
Yeah, like with Plup,
it makes sense to me.
Like with Plup, we saw him do so well at the Smash World Tour Championships. We saw him like briefly stumble a tiny bit online, but still like routinely beat everyone on the West Coast. Then we saw
Mhm.
Plup head into this event. He loses to the I picked Plup to win Genesis, and in a lot of ways, Jmook kind of had the run that I thought Plup would have,
Plup would have, right?
except
They even met
obviously,
in bracket. They even
Yeah.
literally
yeah,
met in bracket. Yeah.
like he like it's like he stole Plup's energy and
Yeah,
Mhm,
just
mhm.
had it through the run.
it was the Space Jam ball.
I can't believe Plup. Well, I don't know. I think Plup just wants to play Fox for Sheik. But you guys were kind of thinking of it too, right? It was like, well, what if he just tries the Sheik today?
I did
So
wonder, but Plup's Fox is so good, like, and especially
Yeah,
versus Sheik. Like he doesn't like the chain grab or I don't know.
I
You
feel
never
it.
know with him.
I feel it. I feel it.
Is
so the way
Jmook
I
top
look
5
at
now? What?
the
What'd
way
you
I look
say?
at
Chew? Chew's not top 10.
No. I said is Jmook top 5 now?
Oh,
What?
Jmook.
Sorry,
No.
so
wait, you were saying.
One
the way I
tournament's not
look
enough.
Plup Sheik, the way I look at Plup, and I think I talked to you about this, Edwin, is that like he's always in constant flux between Sheik and Fox. And when he goes all Sheik, it's good, but it's not his best. And when he goes all Fox, that is not his best. Like we've seen it before. That's the Fox or that's the Plup whose Fox is really good, but he loses to
Mm-hmm.
like Fiction and Moki and Magi. Like and he loses to the people who are all really really good, but not people that you would
Yeah,
lose to
of
all
course.
in a row if you are a top 5 player, which a lot of times he is. And I think the best Plup we see is it's the Plup that goes all Fox and then has a bad result and says, fuck this, I'm burning it all down. And then starts from Sheik and then 2 months later was like, okay, I'll do Fox versus, I'll do Fox on FD versus Fox and I'll do Fox versus Sheik.
Sheik.
That's the best one. And then
Yeah.
he starts to get confident in the Fox, then he adds more Fox, and then the
And then it's the
cycle
cycle. It's
repeats.
the
Yeah.
cycle. The
Mhm.
cycle repeats.
So we're
Yeah. He's like, oh, my
currently
Fox is cracked. Yeah.
we're currently at the part where he might be adding too much Fox because he looked amazing at Smash World Tour Finals. He looked great at Riptide. I think Riptide was all Sheik. Um, so like we're seeing the cycle already.
Did he go Fox versus Ginger at all at this tournament, or was it all Sheik? It was all Sheik, right?
No, it was all Sheik.
Yeah.
Okay. So to be fair, this tournament, he only went Fox for Sheik, which was an L, but he did stick largely to the game plan you just described, Wheat. He did go mostly Sheik. I think.
Well, maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
Maybe
I
there's
don't know.
truly
No,
not
I
a
don't know.
cycle.
I'm just saying it's hard to say. I know what you mean though. It does feel that way in the overall, in the grand scheme of things. But
When he is confident in Sheik, that's
yeah,
some
it
of
looks
the
so
best
good.
Plup
It's
we
like
see.
Jmook. It's like Jmook. It's like people forgot about the Plup Club took over the whole world. In 2016, it was just
Yeah.
like the Jmook thing. It was actually even more so. Every Facebook group, we were on Facebook back then, changed their title to such and such Plup Club from such and such region. Everywhere.
And I think it's too early to call out Plup. I would say Plup's still
Yeah.
top 10. I'd say Wizzy's still top 10. You mentioned
Mhm.
Amsa. Amsa's been doing
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Amsa extremely consistent. I don't know if that's what we
Yeah.
expected of him fucking 7 years ago to just be this consistent top 10 player, but that's what the role that he's fell into.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Somehow.
I did predict HBox would win Genesis. I don't know if it was in jest or if
Really?
I believed it. Well,
Yo,
it's
okay.
like
I think if he didn't get downed by none, I was mapping out the bracket in my head. I don't know if you could tell because I was commentating, and I actually feel like I lost some energy for a point because I started mapping out the bracket in my head. I was like, oh man, he's gonna win this, and then he's gonna beat Jmook, and then he's gonna be in winners finals, and then it's gonna be Clutchbox versus Zane, and he's gonna
It's-
somehow clutch it. And I was just like, oh no.
it
And I
sends a
was like
message.
so stressed out. And then he got downer, and I was like, oh, let's go.
Whether or
Sorry,
not
but
I
any
believe he is
H
gonna
fan in
win.
the chat. Sorry. Listen, I gotta be real. But yeah, go ahead.
Whether or not I believe he is going to win, it sends a message to say he's going to win. I mean, like the
Sure.
message is HBox is
badass.
back on, like message for the street. HBox is back, right? Now how back is HBox? Who knows, right? Like, I
It's
think
such a weird.
he can take sets off of top players. I wouldn't say he could string together a run to win a
Multiple.
super major at this point. Like, if you say, "Do you think he could beat Zayn?" I'd be like, possibly, right?
Possibly.
We talked about it at Genesis when you talk about the chance for someone to beat someone. If you said, like, what's the chance that SFAT beats fucking, I don't know, just name a player. What, and you go 30% chance. So it's like, okay, so you think he takes 3 in 10 sets, right? When you do the math, and then people are like, no, actually 20%, right? Because they're not thinking of it like that. Maybe SFAT has maybe SFAT has a 10% chance to beat Zayn, but then when people say, okay, so you think if they played 10 sets, he wins 1, and then they start to rethink, Hbox is that person. If you say
Hbox is that person. Yep.
If he plays enough sets with someone, he's winning 1.
He wins. Yeah, he does.
So that's the type of thing.
That's why I was thinking about it from the point of view of his winners bracket. I was like, dude, he beats Nud. Okay. He's going to beat Nud. He's up 2 stocks. Jmook, sure. I mean, that's pretty hard for Sheik. And then he just has to do that 1 set versus Zayn.
The 1 versus 10.
Not too bad, right?
So
but then he goes to losers, and you got to throw all that out the window. Because as soon as he goes to losers, it's like, okay, now he has Mango in the fucking...
Then.
That needs to beat everyone.
Yeah,
and then Ams is down there, Cody's down there, fucking
Wizzy's down there, like
Wizzy might be down there, right? And then it's not happening. It's just not happening.
I do think that I think Hungrybox has this very like. All right, so I want to compare the Hungrybox before the pandemic to the Hungrybox now, right? So Hungrybox before the pandemic, everyone's rooting against him because he's winning events. He's got this like villain persona, but he's also kind of like self-conscious about it. But he's also camping people, so it's really annoying watching him win. And then like someone throws a crab at him, and it's like, oh god. And then everybody's got to clap for Hungrybox, and it's just like it's very weird. Like it just kind of sucks. He's like a bad villain, right? But now he's, this is post content box, right?
Yes.
He's got all these subscribers. He's showing up in sunglasses, no mask, obviously. He's got a cap. He's got like shorts and the esports jersey. He literally looks like a Jan 6th protester or whatever. And he's like putting himself up before the match. He's like shaking his fist. He's like making faces at the crowd and the camera. It's just like he's just like this. But the thing is, I'm kind of for it. Because he's like this really
of course.
Well, he's like this shitty like villain who's like an agent of chaos, right? Like, fuck, Xbox beat Mango. Like, oh no, like you root for like he beats the people that you're like rooting for or whatever. But the nice thing is that there's no threat of him winning the tournament. But because there's no threat of him winning the tournament, even if he eventually does win.
People. I think people would actually cheer from now. People would actually be excited. People would actually clap, and mean it. I really do think that. He's kind of like, what he's like now? He's like Team Rocket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He shows up middle of the episode, and like he causes some shit. Like Pikachu's in the little net or whatever, and you're like, oh my god, Pikachu's in the net, but they're not gonna. They're gonna get.
Yeah, but like if he actually won an event, like it would be crazy, right? So like it's winning on all sides here. I think I love that you brought up the Team Rocket example because when I was talking about this with Ambi, I brought up the Swiper. I think his name is from Dora the Explorer.
Yep.
Yeah, except instead of saying Swiper no swiping, IBDW just like comes out there and beats him or whatever.
Yeah, it's like Clutchbox no clutching.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go with that.
Well, dude, Hbox, I also like that you use the word while we're complimenting each other for our vernacular. I like to use the word like agent of chaos because he is an agent of chaos to himself. Like, did you guys hear the sunglasses story from Guildhouse?
No, tell us.
Somebody asked him or whatever, like, dude, can you? Because like when he played, if you go back and watch him versus None game 1. He dies to knee at 50%, like for all 4 stocks, and like is clearly just not DI. Like he gets kneed in the middle of fucking FOD and just teleports to the blast zone. And Scar was like, dude, I don't think he can fucking see. And he immediately whips the sunglasses off and starts playing better. And at Guildhouse, someone was like, hey man, can you actually see out of those sunglasses? And he's like, no, I can't see shit. And then he was like, but I still need them versus Peach.
Yeah,
like what does that mean? Like I think he thinks that the psychological edge it gives him versus Peach is like more important than actually being able to see Peach. So for Peach sets, he's still gonna wear the sunglasses even though he can't see, because it's actually not that important to see Peach. You're just capping her. It's more important than you send a message.
So
he's actually weighed this out in his brain. He's actually drawn a comparison. It's like, how important is my vision versus how important is it that I send a terror through my Peach opponent's spine?
That guy is so ridiculous. Like,
And
even
this is like his brain. Yeah.
But hey, it's the brain of a champion, right? I've got a
Yeah.
lot to say on HBox, but really quickly, I want to say that watching Lod HBox, I did think it's like, why doesn't Lod just counterpick Battlefield the entire time? Dude can't see. Like, go to Battlefield. There's no Black Beach.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Go fucking Black Dr. Mario.
I hate. Oh my god. Yeah, Black Dr. Mario was actually, dude.
Go Black
Oh
Dr.
god.
Mario on Battlefield. I think Lod wins that set.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
okay, so here's what I want to say on HBox. Years ago, when HBox was winning everything, I said, and I've been trying to find this message in whatever Discord I sent it in, because it was a fucking soothsayer shit. But I talked about an HBox, a world where HBox was a top 10 player, but not a top 5 player. And I was like,
Mhm.
what if, he still basically loses to all these top 5 players, but every
Mhm.
now and then he'll win a tournament, and it's fun when it happens, right? I
Mhm.
said
Mhm.
this, and what I'm seeing right now, I don't think it's
Basically
that
that.
fun. What I want to say, it's not fun to see him beat the people I like. When I saw him beat Lod, that wasn't fun. Actually, every single person around me calling it a great set, I think we need to figure out, if you call everything a
What
great set, then
defines a
nothing's a
set?
great set.
Do you see
You-
Slox's tweet about it where he's like, "What the hell is wrong with you people? You're all saying this is exciting set. The floaties have controlled melee discourse for too long." Slox is
He's
so
not right.
Good.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't have to watch that and call it a great set. We can say that was entertaining and not great. But I do think that HBox has gotten everyone on his side. I think that through irony or whatever it is, like everyone likes HBox at this point. But I will say this. When I see him beat Lod, I don't like that. And when I see him get
Mhm.
whooped by Cody, I feel bad, right? I don't have this moment where I'm
Oh,
like, the villain got his
yeah.
due. I'm just like, this is sad. I feel bad for this guy now. It's
Oh, you're so
it's like
right.
So it's not even like Team Rocket. It's like there's no suspense for you then.
it's like someone robbed me and then they get hit by a car. I'm like, this sucks now. I like that's
Yeah,
how
I
I
will
feel,
say,
right?
yeah, I think that was the only set of top 8 that I didn't find entertaining. That one, it felt like one of the 2020 sets when HBox was just like losing to IBDW nonstop and like in 3-0s. Like when it was like,
Mhm.
yeah, I will say that was the one bad set of top or
Because like
boring
what he's
set.
gonna do is he's gonna beat, insert player you really like here, 3-1.
Yeah.
And like a
Yeah.
long 3-1.
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah.
and then he's just gonna get 3-0'd by Amsa or Zane or Cody or et cetera, et cetera. And
Mhm.
it's not gonna feel great to watch him do that. It's not gonna feel as good to watch him do that as it feels as bad to watch him do it to the person who you liked in the round before. But no, I don't know. Regardless, it's a long way to get around it. I think he's still a really good player. I wouldn't put him in top 5, but I think he makes top 10.
Yeah, I think he
Um,
makes it.
let's throw Leffen in there. So now we have 2 more slots.
Sure.
Toph, do you have any guesses on who I want to fill those 2 slots with?
Yeah. I mean, I think one of them, like Polish was a weird one because like Polish always kind of had the thing where it's like not enough data, but clearly very, very good.
They had
Um,
the results for what they attended.
yeah, certainly at the
2
time. I mean,
HBox
Polish was
wins, a Cody
definitely,
win. Like,
yeah.
right.
I mean, Polish might even low key still be up there. I just think it's a little bit more wide open now. In particular, like, if you value net play, like maybe you have to just put Lot in there. Even if you don't value net play, like Lot got 7th.
I think Lod should be there because he
Yeah,
he
it
had a
feels like
great
there's a
Genesis.
slot. I feel like there's a slot in the top 10 right now that is perennially reserved for a Peach player. And I don't care if it's Keizu or Lod or Polish or fucking Triff, who
Triff,
also
yeah.
had a ridiculous Smash World Tour, which is the only event we saw out of Triff.
Yeah.
It just feels like there is a slot that just goes to a Peach player. It kind of rotates around. I guess right now it's Lod. I'm down to give it to Lod. I don't know
Yeah, I
that
think Lod's
SFAT has
earned it.
definitely. I don't know that
Yeah.
SFAT hasn't been shuffled out. Maybe Kadoran might have been bumped up a little bit. It's hard to say right now. I feel like there's definitely a gap. It's like HBox is probably like around 8.
7 or
Then
8, yeah.
probably Lod. But then I don't really know.
So I mean, we talked about him. I think we just kind of slipped our minds, and we actually have to do it. Jmook, obviously, we got to
Yeah,
talk about.
right, right.
I'm putting
Yeah.
Jmook in top 10. I feel
Yeah,
like
I
that's
think
not
easy.
Wow.
crazy.
Mhm.
It's been one really good event.
Okay, what was
but
the
it's
what was the
also-
worst loss? What was the worst loss from recent memory?
from Smash World Tour? Frenzy?
Yeah, it's not that bad.
That's not that bad.
That's not a bad one.
That's not that bad, and the
Frenzy's
wins
really
were
good.
great, right?
The
What
wins
was
were
that?
great.
Gatsu,
Gatsu,
Keizu,
Keizu,
Sora,
Sora.
and then what happened at Genesis? Fucking,
Top
Pup,
IBW
Cody,
Lod. That's
None,
3 in
Lod.
top 10.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Does none
Okay.
sneak in for you after Genesis?
None does not sneak in. None is
Okay.
on the precipice, I will say. And the only reason that I don't think he's going to get in through Pound is because we're going to go to Cecil's without Toph, unfortunately. We're going to go to Cecil's
No,
every
he
night,
plays
I
better
bet.
hungover. He plays better hungover, he says.
True. He didn't make top 8. He didn't qualify for Smash World Tour when we went to Cecil's every night at Smash World Tour qualifiers.
He was well, but yeah. He was hungover on at least one of the days of this tournament. He was telling me like, "Oh, I'm kind of hungover," and I was like, "But you play good hungover." He's like, "Yeah, so I'll be fine." And I was like, "Wow."
Maybe,
That's weird.
maybe he went past the sweet spot for hungover because
Must
he
be
was
like the
telling me
Ballmer
he
speak thing.
was not sleeping. But yeah. So I think we're all in agreement. Laden and Jmook filled those last 2 slots. Do you want to know who really is the person who I think Pound is make or break for top 10?
Axe?
Aklo.
Oh, Aklo. Okay.
Sure.
Aklo has always been someone who's been amazing. You talk about Smash Rotor, he did great there. I think he
Yep.
3-0'd Ice. He might have 3-0'd SFAT as well. He beat SFAT. He has a great player. He's got a great matchup spread. We've seen him do incredible versus all these different matchups. His last tournament performance was winning the nightclub VIP over Cody. He beat Cody. He beat Polish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
great
very
performance
true.
from
That
him.
was Acklo just doesn't lose those, I guess.
Yeah.
So I could see it. I could definitely see it.
I think the data's thin, right? It's only one tournament, really. And even if you look back at Smash World Tour, that was however long ago. And he's done well on net play, but even then, I don't think it's a ton of net play stuff.
Yeah.
But I think he really has the chance going forward. I think Pound, if he gets top 8, if he gets 5th, I think he has a legit argument, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So we'll
Acklo's
see.
definitely on that precipice right now. I think he's like probably top 15 already, right? So
I would say
Yeah,
I would feel
definitely.
comfortable giving him top 15. Top 15, probably fill it out with None, Polish, Kudoran, maybe throw SFED in there. I think that's a
Moki?
good top 15. Moki did not perform to his seed, but also Moki amazing. I think Moki deserves to be there. I think we're going off of one tournament, right? This is like harkening back to the Save as
Yeah.
Untitled days of well, we saw one tournament, now let's do top 50. But I
yeah.
legitimately think that through the data that we have through online to help us build up perception, backed by the hard data of this online this offline super major, I legitimately would feel somewhat comfortable going into next event saying these players are top 10, these players are top 15,
Yeah.
these are the top 5, etc.
They have the most to gain and lose. I wish. I mean, it can never happen for reasons. I mean, we've tried to do it, and I just don't think it really works. But I wish we had ratings. It's so
Yeah.
cool to be able to see in chess with elos, and they also have a concept of performing elo, which is so sick. Where it's given how this player is performing at this tournament, this is their rating for this tournament, and so you can see when someone's playing well above their level or well below their level. I don't think we're ever going to get there in Melee. I think we've literally tried. There was that Smashboards rating thing. And what ends up happening is Hanky Panky just becomes top 10. And it's well, that's wrong. So,
Yeah. That's the kind of world I want to live in.
I mean, I like Hanky Panky. I'm down. I've always thought he was good. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe you guys have thought about this more. I don't want to derail, obviously.
No, it's always, hey, I'm always down to talk about how Hanky Panky should be top 10. So maybe we'll find a way.
Maybe we'll reinstate the ELO rank, the Glicko True Skill, whatever ELO ranking system.
So you mentioned Aklo as someone with a lot to gain from Pound 22.
Yeah,
I actually think that so I think he's a great pick.
Is this the segue to the next segment? Players to watch for Pound 2022? I guess so.
Yeah, let's go with that. So
Wait, was it not the segue? I was like, damn, Edwin's up in his segue game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Does it
I
seem
think
that way?
Axe is someone I want to see at do well at pound 22. I mean, this is someone
Me
that
too.
had to run into Mango early. A very unfortunate up B in that set, but we saw him beat
Mhm.
Fiction. We saw him
Yeah.
lose a lot also, but still,
Fiction looked incredible in those first 2 games, by the way. He 3
mhm.
stocked him game 1, and then Fiction, almost made a 3-1 stock comeback on FD. So, Fiction, beating Fiction is no small feat there.
Of course.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that Axe, and depending on how the seeds get finalized or whatnot, Axe is someone, if he's got the bracket ahead of them, there's no like scary Peach player, there's not like a scary Jigglypuff or whatnot. If he's got like Spaceys and Marth, honestly, even
Yep.
Sheik, he was
Agreed.
whooping people like Face Roll. Uh, like I think this is someone we could see do a lot of damage at a major, especially like what will he be like the 13 seed or something?
Yeah.
Not so bad.
Mhm.
Not too bad.
Yeah, 13 seed. Maybe he runs into Rusty Leffen or something like that. You could see him taking that. Then you got the
Yep.
4 seed versus one. Get Axe Zane in the rematch. Like, if there's a time for Zane to beat him, it's now. But
Mhm.
still, Axe
Mhm.
versus Marth, kind of scary. And then
Mhm.
suddenly you got Axe in winners finals. Like I think like he's low key since his mega losers run at Riptide. You look at the numbers of the set data. Obviously, he's got a few lows there, and like he does
Yep.
drop sets.
Yep.
But I think like overwhelmingly, like you give that guy like a bracket of matchups that he's
Yeah.
good at, he can do it. I think we're gonna if I had to pick someone to watch at Pound and someone that I think will make a top 8 run and like do a lot better than maybe people anticipate, I think it's Axe. I think this is the event for him to do it.
Even the mango set, right? Like even the mango set was a
Yeah,
really good
it's
example
doable.
Yeah.
of I mean, low key, quote unquote, should have won, right? Like he was
Yeah,
way
I
up
mean,
going into that last talk. So
mhm.
no, I'm with you. I think it's that when I think Axe could go way up, he could go down or he could go up, and I wouldn't
Mhm.
be too surprised. Kind of
Yeah,
with the way
totally
he is
agree.
right now. And it feels like for Axe, I think one of the big questions is just kind of like how much he's feeling competing in melee. Like I feel like it's not that clear. I obviously had a broken thumb or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But for the last couple events, like I feel like Smash World Tour, it felt like he put a lot of expectations on himself, was kind of the vibe I
Mhm.
got. And he didn't do bad, but it was kind of disappointing. And now I feel like, especially just interacting with him at Genesis, I feel like he's a lot. I think he's going to be a lot scarier at Pound than he has been
Yeah,
in the
I
past couple
agree.
months.
I mean,
So
honestly, even his Smash World Tour, it was like he went 2-2 in pools, but his losses were what, like Triff and Sora or something? Like
mm-hmm,
Sora's
Yeah.
not
mm-hmm.
like I guess if you're trying to be top 10, like right, like you're
Yeah.
gonna eventually have like a quote unquote bad loss or something. But Sora
Mm-hmm.
is not. I know he didn't have a great Genesis, by the way. That was insane. But anyways, but like if Sora is like a bad loss or whatever, like that's you can recover from that if you beat everyone
Yeah.
else. And I think
Yeah.
Axe is absolutely that kind of person where like when he's in his rhythm, it's hard to stop him, and like he can really get into his groove with the right bracket.
Where do you guys put Sora in the world right now? Because it's funny. I feel like Sora's this player we're coming out of, again, not to derail, but I feel like Sora's this player where like his summit performance, there were he looked really good in a lot of his losses. Like
Yes.
Kador. Like he lost to Kador.
Yeah.
But everyone's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, he totally could have beaten Kador.
The
And so I
SFAT
wonder if
loss
you
I
guys
think was
feel like
close.
as fat loss was close. And so I feel like Sora's this player that like people know he's really good, but maybe the numbers don't actually, maybe the actual wins and losses don't really back up a particularly high seed yet. I don't know. I'm kind of curious what you guys think about it. You've probably
I
thought
think
about it more than I
Genesis.
have.
I think Genesis is very disappointing for Sora,
For
especially
sure.
with the kind of
For sure.
expectations
No
that.
shame in getting 65th though.
Yeah, wait,
Yeah, no shame overall. But like
Yeah.
Sora top. This is someone that people are
Yeah.
putting in
Yeah. Yeah.
top
Yeah. Yeah.
25 or top 30. But
Right. What were his
yeah.
wins and losses at Smash World Tour? You said
beat
Axe.
Aston Ben.
That's
They beat
good. It's really
Axe.
good. Really good.
He lost to Triff. He took a game off Triff, and that's why he actually got in through tiebreaker. That's why he got into the finals.
Oh.
He lost that set with Jmook in the finals.
Yep.
Well, let's see. I'm just kind of going off the top of my head here. Let me actually pull up the data.
He beat Ben also.
He did. Yeah,
Okay. Not
He
bad.
did beat Ben. I think he had that really close set face roll, which he was not able. Yeah. Face roll 3-1. Okay, not as close as I
Ooh.
imagined, but still. So yeah, no, Sora's an interesting player. Sora, I think,
Mhm.
someone who I'm gonna say something mean, and I try to find the least mean way to say it. There are people who are good, and there
Something
are people who
mean.
have good results, and a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah, he's
times
more of the
those are the
former.
same people.
Right.
I think Sora is someone who a lot of times will be good and might not get good results.
Interesting.
Um, but I usually feel good about those players to make it through, right? Sometimes you'll see so
The
I could
results will
punch down
come.
I could punch down on this guy, I think.
Yeah,
Or I could
yeah.
punch up. This is not a punch down. ChuDat in 2017, I think was someone who was getting good results.
Yeah,
So
he
if you
did get
mentioned the
good results,
story,
didn't he? Yeah,
you mentioned the story about playing him once,
yeah.
being like, guys, I don't think he's that good. I don't know. I don't know.
I I have I have a hard time saying ChuDat in 2017 was really, really good. But what I can say with a lot of confidence is that ChuDat 17 got really, really good
Good
results.
results. That's
So
a
Sora's
great
kind
comparison.
of the opposite, where
Yeah,
Sora's not getting
yeah.
great results, but I think Sora's really good. And usually those players, if we see enough of them, we'll be able to throw it into the long term. He is going to Pound, he's going to Function, he's going to Emerald City. He asked me, he's like, "Hey, Wheat, do you think I should stay another 2 months?" And I was like, "Can you? Like, why am I the arbiter of this?" He's coming.
It's
He's
like
got
a
a three
job.
month
Shouldn't he ask his
visa.
like boss?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
his
I
his
let
like, you know what I
let me
mean?
crunch the numbers. I had my little green visor on, and I was like
Right.
tapping away.
Yeah, you're good.
Um,
You're good. Just stay. I've wired it into the government. They've extended your visa.
I figured it out. Yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah,
propose to you at some point, and
yeah,
then we'll call it
yeah.
off.
Yep,
Or
Mhm.
go through
yep,
with it. Who
yep,
knows? We'll see
yep.
how it goes. No, but if he does end up staying a little bit longer, I think that we can only see good results from that. Um,
Mhm.
but I want to talk about Axe for a sec because we talk about good players, talk about good results. Axe is a very funny player because when you talk about Axe, we know Axe is good, right?
Mhm.
Everyone knows Axe is good. But we talk about top 10 players, we talk about top 15 players. I don't think any of us are really throwing Axe in there. And if he gets thrown
Not
in,
yet.
it's not with a lot of certainty.
Not
But
yet, at
the
least.
difference between that, like what he does and what those players do, is I think you look at those players who are already in there, and it's the fact that like give them any bracket, they'll do fine, right? I give
Yeah.
SFAT a bracket. I'm not really worried about SFAT getting 33rd in a lot of brackets. But it's Axe who it's like, yeah, what if he sees Ice Climbers into Puff into Peach? What if or what if he sees
Right.
Falco into two Marths, right?
Peaches are so much better and
There's a
there's
big
more of them.
difference.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's just like he is someone who is very matchup dependent and like he's always been like that, right? He was
Mhm.
like that when he won Summit.
Well, he was matchup dependent, but like, if he was matchup dependent in the sense that like if he ran into Armada,
Yeah,
it'd be like, okay, this matchup's real low. But if he ran into who's the second best Peach back then? Maybe Triff for a
yeah,
while. I
probably
don't know.
Triff.
I feel like I don't know if he's played Triff, so maybe it's not the greatest example, but I feel like there was definitely a time where like, I don't know, if I'm just imagining my mental model of like 2017 Melee, he runs into Triff, and it's like, okay, this matchup's really good for Peach, but
Mhm.
Axe is really good. And
Yeah,
he's gonna win
I
this.
know what
Like
you.
he's gonna win this. Like he
Yeah, I know
wasn't
what you
that
mean.
matchup.
Although I will say, when Triff and Axe played, it legit. I think when Smash Bros. It legit looked hopeless. Like it.
But in 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah, in
That's what
2017.
I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
And
2017, 2018, 2019. I feel like he was matchup dependent, but only insofar as like the
The
top
very best. Yeah,
5 to whatever players. Yeah.
yeah. Okay,
yeah, no, he
I'm
was
following. Yeah.
I think he's still matchup dependent. I just think that the matchups that he is not great in, the parity is now different than it was years ago, right? I
Okay.
think those players are better, and I think that he is worse at those matchups. But what he does have is he's still damn good at those matchups. He is. There's a chance. Give him a bracket where it's um, like Kudoran into Amsa into Zane, and I might
Mhm.
say that he wins all those, right?
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah.
give him a
Yeah, he
bracket where
could.
it's fucking Slug into Lod into Hbox, and I think he loses all those.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I don't
give
know.
him a
It's
bracket with like mom, and it's already like, uh-oh, like right.
It's funny with him too. I've always wondered why his secondaries are so good. Actually, you know what? I'm about to say this thing, and now I realize I was like, shouldn't he play more? Shouldn't he counterpick more? But now that I kind of think about it, he kind of did do that, at least for Ices.
yeah.
He'd go Falco for ICs. I think, if anything, I think he could do that more. His secondaries are so good. Like, so good.
Do we ever share Ambi's Fox theory?
What's the Fox theory?
Eric just swears. I can't believe I'm bringing this up. He like loves it, and I hate it so much. But he's like Axe loves running forward and like hitting his opponent with neutral air and just like throwing out all this fast stuff. If Axe seriously just dedicated himself to Fox, he'd be so good. He just there's too much Pikachu merch out there.
I agree. The problem is that when he plays his secondaries, I feel like he doesn't play as like when he plays Pikachu, he's really good at disengaging, is what I notice. Like he'll like back off and he'll like reset to neutral when he needs to. But when he plays his secondaries, he's all in all the time because they're mostly friendlies characters.
Right.
But I think that if he played Fox and played Fox in tournament enough that he would play to win, and he started backing off and resetting neutral the way he does with Pikachu, I could totally see it. I don't think this theory is that bad at all. But, and he's got the tech skill. When's the last time you saw Axe miss a fucking ledge dash? This fool does not miss ledge dashes, ever. He could do that with Fox, and it'd be really good. But anyway, I don't want to sound like Blur here.
Getting dangerously close.
I know. Crackpot theories, right?
Yeah. Blur, Ambi, crackpot theories.
Something that happened in Genesis that's pertinent, by the way, is so Ralph now the perfect melee player, because he's a really technical Fox, but he goes Pikachu for certain matchups. He goes Pikachu for Falcon. He goes Pikachu for Marth. He snuffed out John Wick's legendary run.
Yes,
with Pikachu. And probably would have continued. John Wick apparently just doesn't lose to Spaceys, is what I keep hearing.
Yeah,
he goes
that's
Pikachu this whole thing. And then the funny thing is, Ralph, the way Ralph loses is he finally runs into Axe and he gets Pikachu. But anyway,
will we see Swift versus Axe at Pound?
I want to see it, dude.
Have we ever seen a high level like Pikachu do? I've been following Melee for a while. I know a good amount about results. I've legit never seen a top level like Pikachu Ditto in my life.
When we were doing Genesis with a T, I was in charge of the exhibition matches, which I think went great. MK Leo, Spargo, still an amazing melee set. When I was doing that, yeah, we were brainstorming some ideas, and we had something that dropped through, and I almost had to do a backup plan, which was Swift versus Axe, first to 5. And I think it was Patty who was like, do you think they want to watch up to 9 games of a Pikachu Ditto? And instead we went with like Sora Sunsei or something. I don't know. Whatever it was, whatever the backup was very fun, I will say. But yeah, we were close to something. I don't think the seeding gives us anything like
so just go Fox, right? Wouldn't he just go?
That's the question. Yeah, I don't really know if that's one of his matchups where he goes Pikachu. And if he's really a Pikachu man with a Fox secondary, then I think he'd go Pikachu. But he might be on the sly a Fox man with a Pikachu secondary. But I won't talk about that. Let's go through. Speaking of Fox players who have secondaries for certain matchups, let's talk about Pipsqueak. Pipsqueak is
he's going to be a Pound.
He's going to be a Pound. He's going to be at Low Tide City. He's going to be at the Function. And of course, he's going to finish off this run at Summit. All thanks to Melee Stats, of course.
Yeah, of course.
And BTS. But Melee Stats first. What do you guys think about him? So he's got a bracket. He's got a tough bracket, right? He is cursed by being one of the top 8 players, one of the top 16 players, and one of the top 32 players. And his current curse is being one of the top 16. So he has Logan, who I think could be difficult, but I do think that
okay.
I'm not about to say that Pip is losing that necessarily. I think his Falcon's really good versus Marth. But
yeah, he actually might go Falcon.
Oh, he will go Falcon.
Yeah, he loves Falcon Marth. He hates Fox Marth.
Yeah, he's all cookbooked out, even though it's just like one matchup. He loves that. The scary thing is Zane, right? That is the one right there.
That's not so good.
Considering he's the current Melee Stats player, I will say that he will beat Zane. It'll be one of the craziest upsets ever.
Yeah.
He will go Pikachu. He formerly went Pikachu for I don't think that lasted very long.
I don't think it did either.
He had the Pikachu, he had the Sheik, and now he's finally on Falcon. But yeah, like realistically, what are we looking at here? Because I think he is a player who so amazing and is at a tournament that is so stacked where he might just perform to seed, right? It might be one of those things where it's
What's
like
the seed? What did you say it was?
16.
16.
He might just get 13th here.
I think he beats Logan. I think he
so
loses
too.
to Zane. And then he goes to losers. And what happens in losers? Let me pull up the pound bracket. How do I go to the pound bracket? Scarezo. Scarezo's pretty good. Scarezo's pretty good, but I don't think is better than Pipsqueak. What's the name of the
Pipsqueak
pound?
the Ditto is very, very deadly. I have a lot of respect for Scarezo as a player. I think he's solid too.
Yeah,
but,
he's getting good.
But I'll take Pipsqueak's chances in the Ditto against.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So
I played both of those guys in Fox Dittos recently, and yeah, Pipsqueak is much more difficult. Much more difficult.
So if he beats Scarezo, he makes it to top 16. That's placing seed. And then here is where it becomes interesting because that is projected to play Polish player who he beat at Smash World Tour Finals, and then
who beat who?
Pipsqueak beat Polish.
No, Pipsqueak beat Polish.
And then what happened in bracket? Pipsqueak beat them in pools, and then what happened in bracket was that Polish beat Pipsqueak.
Wow.
So going into this, who knows, right? This is a fun one. And then Lod after that projected.
Yes.
So going through there makes top 8. This is a well-earned top 8, right? We just talked about Polish as a former top 10 player who's still top 15, still has the ability to easily get back to top 10. And we talked about Lod as a current top 10 player. So this is no small feat. But I feel I've got some faith in this this little Swede that we talk about.
I think he's gonna do it. I think he's gonna be.
I think he's gonna do it. I think he's gonna grind with Triff like all week, and he's gonna be. I think so too. Me and Edwin are on the same page.
On a plane currently.
Huh?
I think he's on a plane right now.
He's grinding with Triff from the plane on satellite Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I think that Logan would be a little tricky just because like I think
no, he's gonna give him the cookbook.
I think he'll beat Logan also, but I do think that like it's still Logan, right? And like EU, while Pip has grinded out that matchup a lot, like on the theory end, and also just like played it a lot with some of the Swedish smarts. I think Logan is a bit of the caliber, like above what he might be used to
for his Falcon.
For his Falcon, but I think he'll figure it out. I think he'll do it. He's put a lot.
I think he could beat Logan with Fox. I think he could beat him with Fox.
I think there's a world, but
yeah, I think if he doesn't. He loves.
If he doesn't feel confident in the Fox, then that's not a world where he's beating him, right? It's
yeah,
that type of thing.
I think it's important to have a game plan going in. I think he should. I don't know. I like the Falcon pick. I think it'll do well.
Yeah, he loves it too. Like he thinks the matchup is more fun. He loves hitting Marth with Falcon. Like obviously like the kind of person Pipsqueak is like he sees the structure in the matchup and he kind of sees like what he needs to do, and he doesn't feel like he can't do anything. He feels like there's always a chance for him to like do.
It makes it a good tournament matchup, right? Because from the point of view of as long as you understand the punish game, there's always a way back into the matchup. There's always a way back. Even if you go down 2 stocks, you can always make a comeback in Falcon Marth because you have the neutral, you have the dash chance to actually whiff punish Marth, and then if you know the combos, you can kill it. So I think against Zane, it's not going to be enough, but I think against Logan, I don't know. Logan's a big question mark. Logan's peaks are extremely high.
Yeah.
Obviously, but yeah, I guess with Pipsqueak, it's really more of a question of like, we don't have that much data on Pipsqueak, but I don't know. I would say 60-40 Pipsqueak. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm actually predicting Pipsqueak here.
Yeah, I think he'll win.
TBH.
I feel pretty comfortable saying Pipsqueak's a top 30 player. I think Logan, his peaks are top 30, but it's about how often we see those peaks. Now, last time we saw him with Smash Camp, I thought he did pretty well. I don't think he actually ended up taking any incredible sets. True, very true.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what's going on with Logan. As I said, he came up to me at Smash Camp, and he said that he now has 3 extra frames on his controller because he got his controller modded wrong, and it gave him 3 extra frames of lag. I don't know what the science is behind that, so I can't.
Who said
debate.
this?
Logan.
Who said this?
Logan.
What does that mean?
I couldn't tell you. He came up to me and he apologized for saying that the TV was lagging at Smash World Tour because he
Yeah.
was like, Rihanna and I just looked at my controller. Someone soldered it wrong. We fixed it. I had 3 frames of lag and now they're gone. So I'm good. I don't know what any of this means, but I was just like, that's great, Logan. I'm
Uh,
glad you have those 3 frames.
Capacitors can induce like delay into a controller lag, if you want to call it that, on the order of like milliseconds. If you turn it, okay. Granted, I actually was using. Remember that one cursed summit where everyone was bouncing back and forth between Goomwave builds.
Oh, do I?
Remember that? So I actually had my I didn't obviously I didn't play in the tournament, but I was playing friendlies and I had my Goomwave on me. And I was on one of those builds and it defaulted your pod or whatever to fucking maximum. And it was such that if I tried to do shine and then wave dash back out of my shine, like wave dash backwards, I would wave dash in place, wave dash down. And I gave my controller to Cody and some other people, and we were all getting side wave dash down. And we were like, whoa, that's weird. Because the electrical signal for the sideways input was really slow. So
Mm.
maybe that's what Logan meant. Maybe it was something like that. 3 frames sounds like a lot. 3 frames.
All I'm saying is that this Logan is playing with 3 frames that he didn't have before. So
3 frames. Yeah.
I'm still confident in Pipsqueak. I say give Logan 3 frames. I'll still take Pipsqueak. So we'll see. I would love to see Pipsqueak make top 8 here. I think this is very doable, but very hard, right? It's
Yeah,
not
agreed.
easy, but it is within his ability. I think this is something where it's definitely a proving grounds. And regardless of what
Proving
happens here,
grounds.
yeah.
A proving grounds or a grooving pound?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Man, if only we could end the episode there, but unfortunately, we've got a few
Yeah,
more
no,
segments.
You can edit that into the you put that at the front of the video as like the
Yeah.
intro, put that at the front and then Millie stats waiting for game. And then podcast starts. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, just an idea for you.
Yeah. For sure.
That's
No,
the
this
theme
is
song right there.
perfect ideas, throwing them all out.
Mhm.
So we're talking about top 8 here. We're talking about if Pipsqueak can make it. Obviously, the bigger question in this top 8 is, who is going to win? We are seeing Zane hot off a victory. We saw
Insane repeat.
IBW, who looked
Mhm.
amazing. We saw Mango, who
Dude,
he won not too long ago. Don't forget. And he won Summit. That wasn't too long ago. Now we're back.
I'm looking at this brack, and
Yes.
Wizzy's not going again, I guess. Wizzy's like still sick or whatever. Is that what's going on? So no Wizzy.
Yeah, I believe Wizzy is not in.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fucked because if we had Wizzy, this would be like the fucking most ridiculous top 8. Like the top 8, because this time it feels like okay, we also need Plum.
Yeah.
But so we don't have Plum. Okay, that's fine. But just in terms of like raw seed, like I'm looking at the top 8 seeds, and it's like Zane, Cody, Mango, Leffen, Hbox.
Amsa.
I forget how to read these things. Amsa, Laud, none, right? Like that's like pretty fucked. Like even if there are fewer overall entrants, like I would say the top 64 is probably not going to be a stack because Genesis top 64, but the top 8 easily could be even more stacked, right? So yeah, this might be tough where people are going to be a little bit more prepared, but Zane's going to be comfortable. It's in his backyard basically, right? He's 30 minutes away from the venue. He's not going to be and he's got I think Zane also, I will say, mentality wise, is not the type of player. Dude, there's a video from like 2015, Apex 2015 or Apex 2014, I think. I don't even remember saying this, but someone was interviewing me, or they're taking a like one of those camcorders around the venue, and I was saying like I don't think Mango's going to do that good this weekend because he just won something big, and I feel like he plays bad when he just won something big. So
Zane's
I don't
like
think
that.
Zane is that kind of player. Zane's not like that. He doesn't let up on the gas just because he won something big. On the flip side, I think Mango is going to be playing better because I think he is going to really, he has something to prove now. Like Mango doesn't go to pound if he even if Mango got like top 3 at Genesis, I don't think he's going to pound. Ninth though, he wants to wash that fucking aftertaste out of his mouth, right? So I think it's almost, to me, it's less about is Zane going to play good, and it's more like I think Zane's going to be Zane, and he's going to be super solid. And I'm looking at his bracket, and it's like I think he's going to beat none outside of top 8. In top 8, I guess he's seeded to play Leffen, and I guess we should talk about that after this. But for me, one of the other questions is like, just what's Mango going to look like? And I think Mango's going to look good.
I agree. Yeah. So the interesting thing about Zayn,
Mhm.
and I think you could apply this to Cody. This might be a new school versus old school thing, but I don't think they have
Yeah.
the second gear, right? Mango, Hbox, I think they've got second gears. I think they've
Yeah.
got the time
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, time to kick into this next gear. I'm gonna suddenly play better than I've had all tournament. Um,
Yeah.
but also like I don't think Armada had a second gear, but so
Not
it's not
really.
not having a second gear is not anything to scoff at because what Zayn and IBW and Armada, I guess, what they're able to
Oh,
do,
I
yeah,
will interject here actually, and I will say that having talked with Zane about this pretty extensively, I think he does have a second gear, but
really.
it's not as visible. It's not as like obvious as like Mango, like when Mango's playing
It's
bad.
like a one
There are
times and then
tells.
goes to 1.1.
Yeah, what it ends up looking like is like he's doing certain Zane will do certain options in certain matchups where they're more like nervous habits versus like, but
Mhm.
he's also pretty good at shifting back into. So it's like a little less, it's less like in your face. It's less like Mango running off the fucking stage and whatever. But
Well,
anyway,
I mean,
but your point stands. I think it's less clear cut.
what I think is that
Mhm.
HBox and Mango can fucking go Super Saiyan, right? Like that's what they
Oh, I
have.
see.
And
I see.
Zayn is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
very good all the time. And then we've definitely seen losses where he is not able to keep up with the changes that have been made, right? Like, unfortunately, the idea of Zayn losing 2 sets in grands is something that we've seen before. But that
Mm-hmm.
being said,
Mm-hmm.
he's the force here, right? I've talked about this before. So let me, you guys are very nice to me, so I'm sure you will. But to Twitch chat, let me continue my analogy without people getting mad at me. But Zayn is kind of the new Armada in the sense that he is the guy to beat, right? He is the perfect player. He is he is any tournament he goes to, he's probably likely to win more than anyone else, regardless of whether or not he's the first seed. He wasn't the first seed at
Yeah.
Genesis. I think everyone agreed that he had the most chance to win. Um, so because of that, he's like this player who it's like, I'm okay with Zayn winning, but it'd be really fun if this guy won over Zayn, right? That was Armada. Armada was like, I think people were like, okay, Armada won, but it was really, really fun when Armada lost, right?
Mhm.
Those are the best sets of all
Right.
time. If you look at our like March Madness bracket, it's like anyone beating Armada is like an amazing set. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Zayn is like that right now, but what he's not doesn't have is the trophy case that Armada has. Zayn Zayn
Yeah.
has Genesis 7, Genesis 8, Shine 2018, but you go from there and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, Smash Summit 10, like the online one, he's got a lot of online stuff, but like the
Yeah.
in-person stuff, it kind of trickles off after those three.
Yeah.
So it is very funny, right? Like he is the guy to beat. He's the guy who's like, he's the Ivan Drago. He's like, okay, like the hero has to beat this guy. Um, but he really doesn't have all of the stuff that like the villain has, right? He's a very interesting person in that case.
Yes. It's also not as and maybe this is an artifact of that. The trophy case thing, like you said. As I say this, I'm thinking about a joke that somebody made after maybe even Zane made after receiving the Genesis 8 trophy. That I'm not going to go into. But anyways, and you guys can use your imaginations about this joke. If you need to pull up photos of the Genesis trophy for reference here, you can go ahead and do so. But anyway,
a very
um,
beautiful trophy, but
beautiful trophy that's shaped like a teardrop, right? Really epitomizing the anyway, not going to go into the shape of that trophy. So, right. The other thing that I think we don't quite have with Zayn is I feel like we don't have that same sense of, well, maybe it's just me because I'm on Golden Guardians, but I feel like it's not as, like you said with Ramada, it's like fun when he loses. It's like, oh,
yeah,
I feel like with Zayn, it's not quite to that level,
no.
No,
right?
not at all yet.
You feel that way too, right, Edwin?
Yeah, I feel like when Zayn loses, everybody's like, "Oh, like Zayn played so bad. Like I feel so sad for him because he's so good."
Yeah,
I feel like Armada
so
never got that
people
benefit.
drop
Well,
for Zayn so hard. It's
I
great.
think what happens is people pop off in the moment, and then at like 5 minutes later, they're like, "Oh, Zayn lost." Right? It's like Zayn loses Summon 11, and
Yeah.
people are like popping off that Mega one, and then afterwards, it's like, I guess it kind of stinks that Zayn had to be
Yeah,
the one
Zayn
who
played so
was the
bad. Yeah.
yeah.
That's true.
No, see, he's definitely a really interesting figure, but he's earned that, right? So we're at the point in his career where I believe he made the fucking top 10 all time for the melee stats all time list. He has
Mhm, mhm.
a lot. Like he has a career that's really amazing, and he's really amazing, and he's just this really good player.
Made top 10 before winning Genesis 8, I might add.
Yeah,
Yeah, so he's only gonna go up,
Mhm.
obviously.
but he's at a very interesting crossroads where like a lot of the players who are above him had these periods of complete dominance, right? And
Mhm, mhm.
while you could argue that his period of complete dominance happened to be while we were online, it still falls a little flat, right? If he comes out and he didn't win Summit 11, he didn't win Summit 12. So like definitely we're at a point where I don't want to say it's make or break for him, but this is the next phase of his career. He won Genesis 8. He's got a very doable shot at winning Pound. He's got a great shot at winning Summit, probably. Like this is the part where this is 2015 for Armada, right? Armada's 2015 was going from an amazing player to the best player of all time.
Right,
Zane's probably not going to
right.
become the best player of all time suddenly in a year, but this is where he goes from, oh, this guy's really great, to suddenly becoming the next like dominant person in the scene.
Yeah, it does feel like he could, like, if you came from, like, a year from now in a time machine, and you were like, "Yeah, Zayn actually just won the last 15
Yeah,
events."
this was the
Yeah,
turning point,
Yeah,
right?
I'd be like, "Yeah, alright. That sounds completely believable." I
I
think
think we
it's
just gotta
funny,
see it.
maybe we should talk about it. I think one of the big question marks is the guy that beat him 5-1 in their most recent set,
That
Yeah,
which,
looked repeatable though.
long sets are a
That
little different, all this stuff, but,
it
but that
was
looked
impressive.
um,
repeatable, the way he was beating him. It's not like
yeah.
Zayn was slipping up and like he was if you ever watch Marth Sheik at a top level, it's not as simple as like, oh, Sheik gets a grab and she gets an easy like
Mhm.
a bajillion percent and like she back airs me off stage and I'm dead. It's like he has to
Yeah.
actually like outplay Zayn. He
Yeah.
has to like slowly take space back against him. Like if it was that easy, like we would have seen Jmook like beat Zayn like handily. I thought the
Mhm.
way that Leffen beat, like I know it's an exhibition, so it's not the same as tournament, but if you watch the game tape, the way that Leffen was beating him, the situations that he kept winning over and over again, that's like
Mhm.
he's better playing him in that moment, and like for the
Mhm.
matchup. So I think I think it's gonna be scary for him because he has to not only worry about Leffen, but I believe based on how the bracket is turning out, even if Leffen somehow loses early, chances are Leffen's going to lose to Axe early if there's someone to beat him. So then
Mm.
Zayn's got to run into him. Then dealing with obviously Mango coming off a pretty rough Genesis performance, looking
Yeah.
for to beat Zayn again. You have
Y
IBDW who we saw take Zayn down to the wire. It's
Yeah.
I don't think I agree with that we are at a transition where it does seem like Zayn has the highest odds to win the event, but it doesn't quite feel like it. Even though it seems like he's had that position for like
Yeah.
3 years, right? This
Yeah.
is you had such a great analogy. It really is like Armada in early 2015. Like, is this the turning point? Is this when he stops going from guy with the highest odds to win every tournament to just the de facto best player in the world, and it's all offline? I mean,
Mhm.
maybe that happens, but will it happen at Pound? I gotta say, the way that
It's
the bracket is
tough.
shaping up, I, I don't I don't know if it'll happen.
Well, you know what? You mentioned his bracket. We talk about Leffen. Leffen, I mean, that Jmook set, you fucking were behind me and you were like, if he just does like a 20-minute lesson with Leffen, he wins that set. Uh
Yeah, there was
and
the first winners finals. It
yeah,
was
and winners
literally like
finals.
it was literally like Jmook was starting to figure it out like in the middle, but he kept like getting nared from ledge.
Yeah.
And he kept getting like nared from ledge. He was dropping edge
Mhm.
guard. Zayn was like beating him by the corner, and it's literally like one of those things where it's like if you just like Jmook's a smart guy. Like you watch the Leffen set like for and you see like kind of like those are very fixable things. So I think moving forward
Leffen,
with Zayn,
yeah.
yeah,
Leffen wins that one set, right? Like
yeah, I think so.
whatever you want to say about, I don't know if Leffen gets there. I don't know if Leffen gets to winners
Like, if you
finals.
hand him the controller.
If you literally
Yeah,
tag team him in, Leffen wins that
Mhm.
set. Because Jmook did great, but Jmook, you saw him get a grab, and he was not getting as much as Leffen did. You saw him at ledge, and he was not getting as
Yeah.
much as Leffen did. Um, it's very weird, right? It's
Levin
like
is I would say Levin is pretty clearly the best Sheik against Marth right now. Even
yeah,
in terms of punishing him, it's
that's
really
what's
obvious.
scary. It's so weird to say that, right? Because we've not
Yeah.
seen it in tournament. and we've seen a
Yeah.
lot of great Sheik Marth in tournament. But I
Mhm.
think I might say he might be the best Sheik versus Marth. I want to see it in an actual set on an actual stage.
Mhm.
But even
Agreed.
if that doesn't happen, Edwin, you mentioned he could have Axe because
That's horrifying.
if Axe beats Leffen, Axe gets Amsa. Amsa Axe that's one of Axe's matchups. If you want to talk about Axe's matchups, even Amsa versus Zane is not something that I think is completely like a foregone conclusion. I don't know. Yeah, this is an interesting tournament because it's Zane's transition from being someone who enters a tournament and we're like he's most likely to being what people did in 2015. Do you guys remember this? I don't know. I'm going to admit that I used Reddit. Um, but anytime there's an announcement for a player entering a tournament, so a Reddit post and it says, Armada's coming to, Gommel or whatever, Armada's coming to DreamHack, whatever it was, all the comments said, congratulations to Armada for winning blank, right? That was the joke. The joke was Armada signs up for something, he's going to win. Zayn, I don't think we feel that way. Zayn is likely to win, but it's not a foregone conclusion. And this is kind of an interesting part for him to get there. So I guess like we can put our money where our mouth is. I mean, not literally money. I think we've already all bet this podcast so far. But who do you guys think wins? If you had to take a guess,
Hmm.
Oh, it's so
I know
tough.
it's not fun to say the person who's most likely, but if anyone says Zayn, go ahead.
I'll say Zayn.
You
I
have to,
mean,
right?
as the Gold Guards
I,
member,
I,
I'm
I feel
contractually
like you
obligated.
gotta. You could have said none.
I don't know. I feel like for Zayn, the reason I could say none. The reason I say Zayn is because unlike other top players who I think they win an event and they're happy and they're like, okay, nice, and then they kind of like take their foot off the gas a little bit. I feel like for Zayn, if anything, he was playing Genesis with a lot of expectations,
Yeah.
and now I feel like he's satisfied those expectations, and I feel like he's going to go into Pound. If anything, I think he's going to play better. I wouldn't be surprised if he literally goes into Pound and he just fucking 3-0s everybody because he's just playing loose. Like, you remember, like, even the Cody set, I think Cody was playing, I would say Cody was playing really good against Zayn. I don't think Zayn was playing that good, especially at the start. He was playing kind of shaky. And even in the Yoshi's game, like, he was playing pretty, I would say, restrained. He was playing very careful, very cautious. I would not be surprised to see Zayn just fucking shit on everybody. Because I think he actually is going to be less like worried. So yeah, I think he's going to play looser and better, low key.
Noke, Edwin, what do you think?
That's my call.
You know, I'm gonna say Mango. I think
Okay.
he'll recompose, or I think he'll kind of get over his shaking showing at Genesis. I think he's got a good bracket ahead of him. In top 64, he has Calvar into Fiction. So I think Calvar, like, Mango plays against Marth so much. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine. I think Calvar is pretty good, and he's had like a pretty solid year, good Genesis run. But
Mhm.
I think if you're gonna pick like like that's safe for Mango. Like, I think playing a Marth is like what he needs to kind of like warm himself up and get back in the routine. After Mango, he's projected to play Fiction. I think Mango can enter. I think, like, while Fiction's like tough and can be really annoying, I think like Mango would rather, like, if we're talking about something like in his comfort zone, he would rather play someone that he's played with before and someone that like he's trained with, like Fiction. I think, and then after that into HBox, I don't see. I mean, is it possible that HBox beats him again? Yeah, I guess, but like,
Yeah.
but I expect Mango to take that. And then from there, he has most likely IBDW into most likely Zayn or into either Zayn or Leffen. Maybe Axe if that happens. But I think Mango's path is good. I think the circumstances are all there, kind of like for a Mango return run. I'm going to say, yeah, Mango. I think he wins Pound 2022.
These are all beautiful stories, but that's what they are. They are just stories. This is not what's actually going to
Because
happen. Because what is going to happen is this is the guy who I talked to after the event, who this is someone who is watching them after an event that they lost. You don't get to see this guy a lot, but what I saw a happy Cody Schwab. I saw a Cody Schwab that lost to a guy who literally beat him in his first tournament, who got upset by the 21st seed, and I saw a guy who was so incredibly happy about what performance he put up. What he did versus Zayn was amazing. I literally think, in 100 scenarios, I think it's literally 50-50. We just happen to live in one of the Zayn ones.
Mhm.
Um, what he has worked towards to get to this level. I talked about with Ambi at Genesis. I said, does he have the best like matchup spread as a Fox player? I think this whole time we just were like, it's always Leffen, right? It's always Leffen. I think it's Cody right now. I think Cody has, if you give me like a
I think
like a
Cody's favored against Leffen, by the way.
that could be true too. If you
Yeah,
give
I
me a
think Cody's
random
really tough
character
for
and
him.
you say, like, you don't know who it's going to be, it's like a mystery box, and it's like you need to put up a Fox player to beat whatever mystery character this is, I pick Cody. There's definitely matchups where Leffen's the better Fox, but in like a random grab bag, I think Cody does better. And yeah, I mean, Cody's whole thing recently has been winning Summit 12 and then living with the burden, so to speak, of expectations. Um, and I know he had that tournament, uh, nightclub VIP, where he lost to Swooper because he didn't know the Swooper
Yeah.
had only $20 in his wallet or whatever, like whatever the story was. I know he had that, but what he was doing at Genesis, I think, was really great. It legit cemented to me that there is a very, very real possibility where we end the year and it's just Zayn and Cody are our two best players. That's what happens. They might not win every tournament, but those are our guys. And
Hey,
I
you're
don't know.
calling
I'm
it the
hopeful.
tier. You're calling it the tier.
I'm
I'm hearing
calling it.
tier.
Calling it the Zayn Cody tier.
Damn, dude. That's crazy.
Dang.
That's
calling it
crazy.
the sweet life of Zayn and Cody. The sweet tier
Dang.
of Zayn and Cody. I think that's what's gonna happen.
All right.
I believe in him. He
Okay.
also came up to me. He came up to me at Destiny fan at like 5 o'clock on Friday, or yeah, and he put his arms around us. He's like, "I love hanging out with you guys."
No.
And I was like, I don't really remember hanging out with Cody. It's been at a tournament like every time.
Yeah,
I
you
like
don't
Cody a
take
lot,
that. You just take it. Just take that.
but I was like,
Yeah,
sure,
Cody's
yeah,
a really
no, I
sweet guy.
agree.
Cody always very emphatically greets me.
Yeah.
He's arguably yeah, he greets me very emphatically. I think so. He's very happy to see. I don't think it's just me. I think he's just happy to see people in general corroborating your story. So yeah, he's very, very much a sweetheart.
Yeah. I
Good
think he's
pick.
really great. You know what? I'm Edwin talked about how going to Genesis, it felt like we
Yeah.
have a different standing in the scene. I feel that way too, where I like all the players now. I'm like, oh, I personally like these guys,
Yeah, I
and
like everybody.
and now I
Who do
have
I
to
not
root
like? Anyone
against.
I
It's
don't
like
like?
what?
I
There's like
like HBox. HBox was the last one I needed to like, and now I like him. So there you go.
I think it's like Sora versus Fiction is happening here, and I'm like, dude, what the? I was like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, that was a Jenny.
Both of
That was a
them to do.
Genesis.
No, it's gonna be a pound. I like both of
Oh,
them
pound.
so much. I was like, what are you gonna do?
Okay.
So yeah, it's very fun to be put in situations where you have to like,
Yeah, makes total
well,
sense.
I hope my one friend beats my other friend, but I guess that is a blessing. But yeah, no, I think Cody's amazing. I think, and this is the thing, right? This is his chance to show it's not just the Zayn show, and Summit 12 was not just a one-off. And I think that
Yeah,
he's
agreed.
definitely a player who can do that. So I hope to see that, and I guess we will find that out in
Soon.
only a
In
few days.
In a few days.
But that's in the future. For now, before we leave, we've got some questions for you from the Patreon.
Questions for Toph. Here we go.
We got some questions for Toph. This is a question that was a
I remember I
holdover
did
from
this one
last
time
week.
before. Yeah.
Yes, that you did.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
This is a question that we asked Mikey last week. It was a little more pertinent to this episode, but
Yeah.
it was asked again, and I think it's a pretty damn good question.
Okay, here we go.
This is from Zadreo. What's your favorite
Okay.
pizza topping?
Ooh, this is gonna be crazy. You guys aren't gonna be able to guess it. Onion.
Whoa.
Yeah. I never get onion by itself, but like chicken onion, bacon and onion, garlic, onion garlic. It's something that you can just throw on with anything else, and it just enhances the texture. It enhances the flavor. It makes the texture, the flavor a little bit more complicated. Red onion in particular, but white onion's fine too.
Red onion on like a barbecue pizza. That's
yeah.
Sounds really good.
See. So I think onion actually, because usually if I'm ordering a pizza, it's not just gonna be one topping, and I would never just do one.
Yeah.
but I would do onion and one other thing
Okay.
like often. So I'm gonna say onion.
You know what, Toph? That's an amazing story because what happened last week was that Mikey said pepperoni, and I told a story that I half remembered, and I mistold it. I told a
Yeah.
story of someone who said that their favorite topping was pineapple, but they never get it by themselves, but it'd always be what they get on the second
Yeah.
if they get
Yep.
two.
Yep.
The truth was, this was at Smash Camp. Yams, who was a pool captain for Jmook's pool at Genesis 8, who also cooked us delicious food outside the cabin. He said his favorite pizza topping was mushroom, but he would not get mushroom by itself. If it's just one topping, he'd get
you get something else. You get
pepperoni,
pepperoni.
sausage, or whatever.
Agreed.
But if
Right.
it's two,
Makes sense.
mushroom's always there.
It's such a good, exactly.
Mikey
That's
found
kinda
that
where
very
I'm at.
interesting, and I'm glad that you basically are saying the same thing. Onion's number
Kinda echo
one,
that, right?
but
Yeah.
would not be number one if it was only one. Interesting.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
my question for you. So red onion, it sounds like you've got the nice bite to it. Have you ever had caramelized onion on a pizza?
Probably. I probably have.
Like
I feel like I
that
have.
sounds good. That
like maybe
sounds
like a
good.
balsamic or like a
Yes. Yeah. At like a kind of a
fig,
slightly
maybe?
bougier place. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
I used to be big on like the green peppers, mushrooms, and the black olives train. But lately, I've been really riding just cheese, like just plain.
That's the Scar. The Scar only gets cheese. He doesn't eat pizza
Really?
with other. Yeah.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
no.
He does tomato sauce and cheese.
Yeah.
You said
Scar doesn't
before
like
that-
flavor.
You said before the show that he is not a sauce man.
Yeah.
You know what?
He likes
I think
simple.
I might have to agree with cheese. I feel like I always try to go crazy, and it's always fine. I always enjoyable. I like sausage. I like pepperoni. I like meatball. I like veggies. But I do have an issue.
You inspired me to go down the cheese route. After when we went to Regina's together in Boston, we had just the cheese. It was from then on that I've been
Just the cheese. It's like
good.
It's a good thing to judge someone by because that's what they're supposed to do, right? I think maybe if I were like super bougie, I would say like basil, like because that's like a margarita. But I don't think I'll say that. I might just have to go cheese right now. I didn't say this on the last episode. My uncle swears by Pops, which is pepper, onions, pepperoni sausage, which I've had once. It's good. It's a lot. And,
Has onion on it. So there you go.
Depending where you go, it's a lot. Like 4 extra toppings, that could be a lot. But yeah, I don't know. Now, do you go, Edwin? Do you go extra cheese if you get one topping, or do you just say, "I'll leave my topping. I'll let it go"?
No, I let it go. I don't ask for extra cheese.
I have an issue leaving anything free gone, so I would have to get a topping or get extra cheese, or get a topping on half and then have the cheese.
Yeah, I like to do the half sometimes, but that's usually with groups of people. I might try it just for myself though.
Well, the issue is that I get that, and then I feel like I just like the cheese half more.
Yeah, that's really tricky, right? Because it's like, what really are you getting anyway? If you already think that cheese is like the most, right?
Right.
The best.
Yeah, objectively speaking, cheese would be my answer, right? Like I feel like pizzas are definitely worse without or like fucking sauce of some sort, right? Like, but it's like required. That's not an interesting answer. You know what I'm saying? So
well, yeah, I guess in this scenario, it already has cheese, sauce, and bread. It's not like you're gonna.
Yeah, exactly. It's not really a pizza otherwise.
I'm not like a fucking genie where I'm like, Toph, what pizza topping do you want? And then you say, you want onions. I give you a bowl of onions. I'm like, that's your pizza topping.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
Toph, you used to work at Papa John's. Is that true?
I did used to work at Papa John's.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Were you a delivery driver or did you work the pizzas?
Delivery driver.
Work the
No,
pizzas?
no, you did both.
Okay.
Is there
the drivers make the pizzas as well? Yeah.
Is there a difference in your mind between like
prep, you wash the dishes,
and like a pie, or do you see them kind of the same way?
I actually have to defer, I feel like, because I'm not from the East Coast and I feel like, and I'm also not Italian. So ultimately, whatever I say is just from the point of view of a lowly Papa John's delivery person. I probably can't.
Did you ever
speak
get
to
back
pizza
there
as a
and
culture.
start making your own and go crazy?
Of course, we made calzones. That was our secret. Because we have the dough. We actually made they're not on the menu, but we would make calzones. Also, one of my managers had a recipe for these like crazy fucking like honey mustard wing things that again are also not on the menu, but we could make them, right? So yeah, Yeah, we definitely got a little crazy, especially in the middle of the afternoon. Middle of the afternoon where nobody's really, putting in orders. It's after the lunch boom, but before dinner. Oh yeah, we went crazy there. Also, I would pop those little peppers. They give you
Oh,
two little
yeah.
peppers, right?
Oh,
I would
right.
I would just munch on those. Yeah, I'd just eat those.
We ordered pizza for our last episode. Mikey and I did a synchronized pepper pop. I
Oh,
got Papa John's at Genesis, which, by the way, if you were there and ate pizza, like, I really didn't have anyone who Venmo'd me. It was expensive.
Yeah, we messaged so Toph. We were in this
Yeah.
like group chat with some of the awesome melee guys, Radar. I think JD was there also, just like all these random people. And there's one point where like we ordered pizza for everybody, like a pretty good amount, like,
$70 worth of pizza.
yeah, it was $70 worth of pizza. We messages the chat like, "Hey guys, just so you know, I did cover all the pizza. So if you want to chip in, here's my Venmo, blah blah blah." Totally ignored. Everybody just keeps talking about how much like, oh, like, all right, I'm going to the airport now. It was really nice spending.
No, dude, it was before then. They were just memeing.
Oh,
They
were
just kept saying,
that's
they
even
were
worse.
just like,
Then.
"Hey guys, do you guys want to meet at Joe's? Yeah, it's on Candace Street." Actually, I think I played along to this bit, but no, it was very funny. But yeah, Tough. Did you, when you worked there, was that Washington, or was that when you lived?
no, Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
Hawaii, which I think is part of why I feel like I had very positive experiences there.
That
Well,
sounds fun.
so I mean, I guess on
Yeah.
a related note, then just to make sure that we get through all the questions,
Mhm.
Contra wants to ask, what's your favorite memory in the Pacific Northwest?
My favorite memory in the Pacific Northwest. Also, my good friend Laudanis is here now. Do you want to pull up a chair? And I'm in the final stretches of this podcast with melee stats. Maybe you can.
Oh my
answer some
God,
of these questions.
London, it would be an honor.
I know all about melee stats. So I take that chair.
Yeah, take that chair. Take that chair. That chair's better for.
Edwin, what place did Ladandis get at Pound 2016?
That's right. What place did he get at Pound 2016?
He got fifth
Edwin.
place.
That's right.
Okay, very good.
Very good.
I
Very
remember
good,
because the description of the set against Gravy is very funny. It was particularly formative of me in my experiences of hating Captain Falcon, the way that he describes it.
Now,
No.
Edwin, second
cool.
Ladandis question.
You get a haircut?
Yeah.
Look at that. They asked me what my favorite memory living in the Pacific Northwest is, which I guess you can't really answer. But I will say.
Here, wait, Ladandis, what's your favorite pizza topping?
Oh, there you go. You can answer that one.
Uh,
I said onion.
dude, that's a good one.
I would never get it by itself, but it's the best topping overall to get with other toppings, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard with one topping. I am a pepperoni hater. I
Yeah,
have
me
a
too,
strong
me too,
opinion
me
on
too.
that.
Okay.
But either barbecue chicken or Hawaiian, I think, are my favorite pizzas.
Well, Hawaiian's not a topping. I feel like that's cheating.
Well, yeah, none of the individual toppings are that outstanding, though. That's
Yeah.
my point.
I think that's what makes it an interesting question. It's like when you ask what
Yeah.
your favorite fruit is, sometimes you think favorite fruit to eat, but then favorite fruit into like what it can do is very important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you would never think, for instance, like lemon. Like if you were a normal human being, you would never.
You would
think,
never say lemon is S plus in a tier by itself. No one would ever do that.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone that would do
Yeah.
that.
No.
But
one
now
would.
that I think about it, that actually is a really, because you eat
Yeah,
lemon
it's very
with a lot of
utility
meals.
based, right?
It's really good.
Lemon's a
Oh.
great top 8 fruit, but no one in their
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
mind.
That's a good.
Whatever.
That's
Yeah,
a good
like
topping.
between watermelon and lemon, or like an apple
Between
and
lime
lemon.
and lemon, right?
Yeah, lime and lemon. Yeah, when you think about it, lime really does a lot of things better than lemon, doesn't it?
It kind of does the same stuff, just better. So it's really weird
Yeah.
to say that lemon is not only the best fruit, but also in a tier of itself. But of course, no one would ever do that. Speaking of which, I remember it was very fun hanging with Radar this weekend.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
Radar.
Yeah,
Radar
I have a
was
really
lovely.
funny radar. Oh, what's I have a very funny radar story. Radar came up to Scar and Ben SW who were talking about something deep and philosophical, and like interjected with like, and I think just really wanted to say hi to Scar or something, and was like, "Oh, hello," something, and kind of like, I guess, sort of interrupted the conversation away. And then they were like, "Oh, hey, what's up? Like, good to meet you," kind of thing. And then Radar, I think, as far as I can gather, got sort of nervous or something and just talked about the weather. No, great weather we're having. And then like, and then Scar came up to me, was like, "Dude, who is that guy? They just interrupted me in Ben's conversation and just said the weather was good and then left."
I'm
I was
hearing
like-
this in Radar's voice right now. Oh my
Yeah.
God, this is killing me.
Yeah. And
Dude.
to
Hey guys,
to
so
to
you
this
notice
moment,
like it's a bit windy outside. Like I don't really have a hoodie right now, but I think I'm wearing kind of like baggy pants right now. My
Radar
shirt's
does
kind
talk
of
like
big.
that. Radar
I
does
think
talk
I'll
like
be
that.
pretty good. Scar, how are you feeling about the weather?
That was the best impression.
Yeah,
I've
you know,
ever seen
Scar is
you
very
do.
to the point, right? So Scar's like, why the fuck are you asking about the weather? Anyway, to get to the Contra question, honestly, probably because so much of it was just spent in class and at school. For example, one of my more pronounced memories was when I skipped my chat knows this. When I spent a whole weekend telling myself that I would study for a final, but then instead read all of To Love Ru, which was like the worst decision I've ever made. It's a really bad manga. Anyway, I don't know. Honestly, probably just going to Silent's house a lot and like taking the bus for an hour and a half each way. That and going to BC locals and farming the fuck out of them.
Nice. Did you go to a
Yeah.
mountain or anything? There's like there's mountains around there, right?
No, I didn't ever go to the. Yeah,
Damn,
there are
you're
mountains.
farming
I didn't really
BC.
go to them.
Wow.
I didn't go to them. I just played Super Smash Brothers.
What about Northwest Manifest? Do you have any like fun?
Yeah, that was a great tournament. That was a great tournament. But and it definitely had really good memories. But I will not say that it was particularly more standout than just some of the Smash Fest that I went to.
Okay.
But that's a good question, Contra.
Well, I've been loving these answers. We had a few questions more, but we can maybe we'll save it for next time you're on.
Okay. Do one more. Do like one good final punctuation mark.
I have one that I think you I have one that I think you'll like. We didn't you know what? No, let me ask this one. This is from
Okay.
Joey. Which clips of yours on the mic, like I guess phrases or whatever, are you most proud to have said?
Me?
Yeah.
Dennis can't answer this one, I don't think. Let's see your moments of me.
Let Dennis.
What about all those times that I said that Sheik versus Falcon is historically difficult?
That was funny.
I had this period because he was complaining about Falcon a lot. So I made it a point at every major, and you can someone can go and probably compile all these moments because they're there.
The content's there.
I made it a point for every major whenever I commentated Sheik versus Falcon, I would say, oh, this matchup's actually really hard for Falcon. Like Sheik, everyone thinks Sheik just wins this matchup. Historically considered very difficult for Captain Falcon. Because of course that's like the scrubby commentator thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
I was complaining about every Sheik Falcon set they would say that. And then he started doing it on purpose. A lot.
But playing it up, a lot. And I did it every single time for years. So yeah, you can probably just go to any Falcon Sheik set from like 2016 or 2017, and it was like that.
Hey, editors out there who are looking for some little clout, free views, it's out there.
Just throw that compilation together. I don't know that I have anything for myself. Although I guess it was cool. Honestly, I don't really remember commentary moments for myself that well. But I thought it was cool at Genesis where I think Jmook like walked across the stage or something, and I referenced Scar's walk up slowly thing. And that was kind of cool because it was with Brandon. Scar had that moment with Brandon, so it felt kind of full circle-y.
Mm-hmm.
But in any case, I don't think I'm really a one-liner guy. I actually been kind of trying to work on it. Like I feel like when I watch some other esport commentators, they got zingers. They got little zingers. Little.
You know what's so funny? I feel like there's so many good examples of your commentary that I remember specifically. When I thought of this one, maybe this is because I've gone through the archives and I've used those clips for different videos and whatnot. But I've always been a huge fan of "And He's a Wizard."
Ah, yes.
What's that from?
Really?
Oh, you don't remember? It's when HBox beat PP, when HBox beat PP at Evo, he popped off, he fell into the crowd, then he got back up with a wizard hat, and you just went, and he's a wizard.
Yeah. Why did what was that? That was so weird.
That was amazing.
Yeah, I'm glad you appreciate that. I didn't even remember. I do remember that now that you say it.
I think for like more serious commentary moments, one that I always think of when I think of Summit 11. I think the way that I don't know because it was so simple, but the way that you said you were like, "We got a bracket reset," like even though like obviously it seems very straightforward.
It's all delivery. I'm telling you guys, it's all delivery.
Yeah, the emotion I heard in your voice was just like it was the most earnest. Like I'm just watching Melee, and like this is so. Like even though you'd been around in the scene for a while, it's like you were seeing something so incredible, right? I think that.
What year was this?
This is last year. Summit
nice.
11.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I was really there was a period where I was kind of burnt out on commentary from like I would say 2016, 2018, roughly somewhere in there. But I've been really enjoying it, especially like coming into the pandemic and coming out of it. So that does make sense if it was last year. Yeah.
Well, you've been killing it. You've been doing a very good job.
Thank you.
I think I told you this. Oh, thank you. No, you. It's pretty amazing. I'll talk to people about this when you're not around, so that's how you know it's true. But I really do think you having your ear to the ground on what's happening, like in the competitive sphere, what's happening in game, like with.
Dude, I knew who Asiago was when I commented Asiago this weekend. I was like, I know that guy. He plays Falco.
That's insane. You know the
keys.
You know the players,
right? Yeah.
You know the players, you know the techs, you know the GameCube controller shit, and you also know what's going on Twitter. I think that you responded to me one time when I told you this, and you said it's your job, but I know a lot of people who don't put that much effort in their job, so I appreciate that. Here before we go, Ladandis, you didn't get anything. We got a late breaking question. For Ladandis. This is from Curly W. She asks, "Who do you play in MBAACC?"
Oh, CL.
Oh.
Okay.
Wait, is that someone I have to play at Combo Breaker?
Did you enter that bracket?
Yeah, I've played for 2 days.
You entered not MBTL?
No, not MBTL.
Okay.
She is tournament admin of
yeah. Always has been, right?
Yeah.
For Combo Breaker.
Yeah.
Since before Combo Breaker was a thing, when it was fucking UGHXT or whatever.
Oh,
whatever that one was.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. Okay.
That was pre Combo Breaker.
I've never been, so
Ladandis, I'm glad we could get you in here. I was gonna ask what your favorite anime opening was, but that's your thing, right?
Yeah.
Do you have one?
Yeah, Kyosugega. Coco.
Don't know what that means, but that's great.
That's
I just want you to feel involved. I knew are you beating my good friend Damien in what's it called? Anime music quiz?
No, absolutely not. No.
Damien is the null of anime music quiz.
Okay. It's good to know.
That's what he describes himself as.
Yeah.
Also, in that community, they all call him Chroma. Because the account that he has the most it's really confusing. So the account, you probably don't know this. The account that he has the most levels on, he made his account Chroma 69.
Yeah, Chroma 69.
I guess because he likes Chroma.
Oh my God.
Unfortunately, it's his main account for anime music quiz, so everyone just unironically calls him Chroma. Chroma's here. Chroma's really good. And it's just like, dude. it's actually really fucking stupid.
That's so good.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. So if you're ever talking to anime music players, you don't say Algebra or Damon, you say Chroma.
Can you beat Algebra? Can you beat Algebra in Type Racer?
Yeah, of course.
Can you beat Leon in Type Racer?
Yeah, of course.
Who's your
the only person in the Melee community that's taking rounds off me is Magi, but I'm definitely still favored.
Interesting. Okay. Well,
yeah.
I feel like Dark Genix that'd be something he'd beat randomly.
No, Dark Genix. Oh, Dark Genix is taking rounds too, but I'm also favored on Dark Genix.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just felt like that was the type. Okay. Good to know that intuition was correct.
Good call, actually. Dark Genix came by. I did a stream where if anyone ever took a round off me in Type Racer, I would give them $1 or $5 or something. And Dark Genix and Magi were two of the people that were able to do it. There were not very many.
Well, that's amazing to hear. I bet that $1 or $5 went to good use for Dark Genix.
Some amount,
it's just funneling exactly into the summit run, which, I guess we got to talk about that in a few weeks. But obviously, we had a lot of, not this episode. We're already pretty long. Toph, you've been on the show, so you know this. The Ruins, we have a segment where we talk about, do you remember the Ruins?
The Ruins.
The Ruins.
Blur visited.
Do you remember the Ruins? Blur didn't even visit the Ruins. Blur just likes Ruins.
Right.
So we have a segment that is officially unnamed but unofficially named Touching Grass. This is a segment where we talk about stuff that's been going on with us recently, which is not Melee related. I'll start to give you guys all time to think.
Oh, I see. Yeah, go ahead.
But the most probably the hardest weekend to come with something that I've done outside of Melee, because right now I did the show last week, and then I think I had like a day in between. Then I left for Genesis, and I got back to Genesis, and I had a day in between. I talked last week about how I've been seeing a lot of movies in theaters. Stu and I actually went to see Everything Everywhere All at Once again, which joins Mission Impossible Fallout for the only movie that I've seen twice in theaters. But I don't think I'll say that was my thing, because I have to go with Lavix. I had Lavix twice. It is a Mexican place in San Jose that is within walking distance of the San Jose Convention Center. One, I love it because I love places that people like call, they give the possessive term when it's not that. I used to the pizza place next to my college was Amore, and everyone said Amores, and it's great because it's not a name, right? It's like Amore is not a guy, but I love that people call it that. So I think it's like La Victoria Taqueria, but it's Lavix. It was a pretty good burrito, but what was amazing is the orange sauce. I thought about this week, and it wasn't even a connection. It was probably subconscious in my brain, but I was thinking, I love a sauce that has a color, and that's it. I love green sauce. I love orange sauce. I love white sauce. I've not had yellow sauce, but I imagine that's good.
It's got to be good.
It's the sauces that say like bitchin' barbecue or like kick-ass ranch. If they have to curse, I'm not a prude, but if the sauce curses, it's not going to be as good. It's the sauces that just say fucking I'm brown, right? Like I'm brown sauce. Yeah, that's the one I want. So I will say, if you go to Genesis, if you out there,
9.
listener, goes to Genesis 9, and you want to get, if it's 3 a.m. or I guess 2:45 or whatever, right before they close, if you want to get a burrito, get it. Make sure they give you the sauce, which they definitely will. And go to town. Don't. I think they gave you 3 little vials. Don't be afraid to use them all. It was very good.
You, Edwin?
Also, right outside was where Edwin claimed that we're the new MILM.
That is true. That is true. To Scar's face. Which is, I think there's an argument.
Yeah, but it's definitely one of the most wild. It's a moment I can only describe as being.
He was sober.
You were riding some sort of high.
Yeah, it was some sort of high.
I was riding. I was high off my own supply, and that's all I can say. But I just got away with it, I guess. But anyways, so what have I been doing? It's so tough because I was at Genesis all weekend. Okay, I think I used last week to talk about Pokemon Stadium, right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, awful game. But anyways, I won't go into that. I'll get into this. So my spouse and I have been watching this Netflix show, and we just finished it, called The Ultimatum. And you're not familiar with it. Basically, it's made by the same people who made Love Is Blind, which I also watched. The Ultimatum.
I've always seen the Japanese version though, because I'm a weeb.
Oh, nice. So the Ultimatum, there's 6 couples. There's one person in each couple who's issuing a marriage ultimatum to the other person, and the other person in the couple is not ready for marriage, right? So these 6 couples meet. They have to swap partners. Then they live with the other partner for like 3 weeks before going back to their original partner for 3 weeks and deciding who they want to leave the show with, or whether they want to leave the show on their own. It is the most twisted, evil.
So they could end up with a whole different person.
Yeah. So it is twisted. It's evil, but it's great television. The second or third episode has literally like I'm actually kind of more of a reality TV show lover than I thought, but like the third or like second episode has dead ass like one of the best reality TV show moments I've ever seen. Just like wild stuff. I think the cast is great. I will say I think the show near the end lacks a bit of structure because it's a lot of talking. Like a lot of the couples are just kind of continuously talking about their issues and going around like the same problems, and it gets a little boring at some point. But I think the premise of the show is juicy. I think the cast that they picked for the first season is pretty good. I think the way that their relationships are pretty interesting to follow. It gets really messy and like kind of hard to watch at some moments, but it never crosses into the area of like I don't want to watch it anymore. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really good reality TV.
It does sound, yes.
I love that you
Wow.
told me and Eric about this, like, as we're waiting for the train to get to the venue. And you're like, I'm watching The Ultimatum, and I was just like, let me guess, it's some dating show or someone goes, you have to throw out all your video games unless you want to, like, if you want to marry me. And I was wrong, but I was also pretty right.
Yeah, you're kind of there.
I was very happy with being able to call that. I do find it a little weird that you're now a reality TV guy, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to next week when you've got a new reality TV show to talk about.
Yeah, I feel like reality TV was really taking off like 20 years ago, 10 years ago.
Yeah,
exactly. I don't feel like you hear that much about it these days in the same way.
Well, it's like on Netflix, right?
It's kind of, yeah. Netflix is running a bunch where they're like, they figured out that they run the most, like, the worst things ever, that it works.
Yeah.
I think that's like, don't you have those things where it's like a dating show where they dress up two people in the most disgusting, like, animal outfits they can, right?
I saw that. Yeah. It's
I
don't know what the fuck it's called.
Yeah, I heard something about, like,
they look like crazy. They kind of look like furries, but like it's like more effort than just a fursuit. They got like crazy makeup and horns.
Yeah, so I think that's where reality TV is at now, and
yeah, you got to really put a twist on it, I think, for it to take off.
They got
Edwin.
These days. Edwin, you gonna watch The Masked Singer?
I saw part of one episode of The Masked Singer. It wasn't really feeling it.
Fuck is Too Hot to Handle. Okay.
Oh, Too Hot to Handle is Too Hot to Handle. I'll let you know. I've seen 2 seasons of that. I've
seen a few seasons of it, and you were only just realizing that you're a reality TV guy.
Yeah, so I think the first season's pretty solid, but the thing is, like,
Too
Hot to Handle, they come up with
He's got
like, it doesn't make any sense.
Okay. Listen, I'll check it out. I'm sure it's wonderful.
We might need to give you a reality show segment on this.
Yeah, I guess so.
This is good.
You should do like you should do a spin-off like reality TV review podcast or whatever.
That'd be good.
Okay, so what do? I say what I've been up to IRL besides outside
of Melee.
IRL, just anything that's
I'm going to Singapore next weekend for my grandma's 90th birthday. And then after that, I think the next time I'm traveling, I guess I'm going to Summit, but then besides that, me and Laudanis here are going to Combo Breaker, where we're going to play fighting games. And I think also enter the Melee side bracket.
Yeah.
Now that I've learned that is the thing. Yeah.
Well,
but I'm definitely going to like mostly focus on fighting games there and like kind of practice for Melee. I think.
It's going to be pretty washed for Melee.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
Ginger was saying on stream that he might end up going to Combo Breaker. And if he does, he's definitely going to like just mostly be at the Strive area and only go to Melee for his matches. You know what I mean? Like focus more on, because that's, you know what I mean? That's the vibe. What games did you enter?
I entered 7 games.
7 games.
I entered Strive,
okay,
Blaze Blue, Grand Blue, Smush.
Oh,
Melee.
Smush is a main game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Melty Blood Actress again, and Naruto GNT4.
That's 7.
Is that a fighting game?
It's a 3D fighter. Yeah.
Oh, is that the one you press A a bunch of times to do the combo?
Yeah. B is normal and A is special.
They just want to be different from Smash.
Yeah, it must take a lot of brain power to play.
Well, you can combo break, but if you read when they combo break, it's that one, right?
Yeah, you can also. My character has an infinite, which is you just don't press the last B.
It's an infinite.
Yeah. Well, but if you get 75% meter, you can burst.
Oh. Okay.
So.
But you can read
everyone has infinites. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna enter fewer games, but I'll be there. Should be a good time.
Very fun. Laudanis, is that your moment of touching grass?
I guess, yeah. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Very fun. Yeah, I'm excited to see how you guys do in your 7 and fewer games. But
can I ask you one more question? Why did you call it The Ruins?
I asked you. What?
Why did you call it The Ruins? You were like, oh, we got to do The Ruins.
Oh,
do you not remember with Blur?
Blur was talking about going on vacation.
Blur was talking about Blur loves ruins. He loves going to ruins. I remember.
He wasn't even about going. He
Blur
just loves ruins.
Blur goes to ruins. That's his thing.
What?
I don't even think he goes. He just talked about how he loves ruins.
Yeah, now that you bring it up, it did seem kind of random. And
I don't think he was going. I think he just loves ruins, and that's. I mean, we talked about it. That's very beautiful.
Blur might have also lied.
Very true. Blair, you mean the the future mayor of Cheyenne, Wyoming. We picked a specific town.
Down.
Yeah, I said Wyoming. There's a lot of space. We can fucking build an airport. And, I mean, they probably already have one.
He should be the mayor. He's the most competent administrator.
Well,
right.
Oh, man.
Precisely.
We'll get into the whole can Blur run a town of 70,000 people. We'll get into that on a different episode. We're already running pretty long this episode.
Just hearing you say that sentence out loud is terrifying. That's a nightmare. That's a doomsday scenario.
Well, we might get Blur on, and then we'll get a cooler head. Let's see if they'll prevail.
Yeah.
Because we're already running a little bit long on this one, so we'll dive deep into that fully. Toph and I guess Lodanis, it's been amazing to have you on. Toph, I think you might have the longest average episode.
What can I say?
You're very fun to talk to. That's not an insult by any means. Toph, and if people loved what you have to say here, where could they follow you?
These days, I'm just gonna plug my YouTube. Follow me on YouTube. I'm so close to 30,000 subscribers.
Just Google Toph in YouTube. Just Google Toph.
God, that's
YouTube.com/Toph.
Oh my God, how many subscribers do I have? Oh my God, do I have 30K? You subscribe by YouTube. 29.3. I'm so close.
Damn, Edwin, he's bigger than us. What the fuck are you doing?
Oh,
I don't know.
It's okay.
Man.
Golden Garden's mail is bigger than me.
New video out sometime soon. Not even
that
soon. But speaking of which, if you want to see what we're coming out with, speaking of our YouTube channel, you can follow us, Melee Stats, on YouTube. If you want to find the episodes of the show after they go live, you can do so at Melee Stats Archive on YouTube. If you want to watch them while they're live, twitch.tv/Melee Stats. We're over on Twitter at twitter.com/Melee Stats Pod. You can find daily reporting and links to our articles, such as Monday Morning Martha Wins Melee, that are going to be over on meleestats.co. And if you love everything we do and you just want to support us, you can do so on patreon.com/Melee Stats, or you can make a $50 bet with Edwin, apparently. I'm sure he's going to be doing that in the Pound Twitch chat. So if you want to do that, you can do so there. Toph, thank you so much for being on.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
You're a 4-timer, I think this makes you. And of course, 5-timer, you get a jacket. So
I get a jacket?
Well, the thing about 4-timers is they generally stay at 4-timers because we don't really a jacket's a lot to give out. So so you might be at 4 for a while. We've got you at 4.
Well, listen, if anything really exciting happens in the community and you guys make a bunch of money and can afford a jacket,
afford one jacket. We've got Aiden at 4. Mikey just got.
Mikey's at 4. He like climbed up there so fast.
Yeah, we've got a couple people at 4.
Right
so.
there.
We got Justin at 4, I think, also, right?
Really,
Justin's not at 4.
You're out.
Oh, he's not 4. Okay.
No, Dark Genix is going to get to 4 at some point soon, but he's not there yet. So yeah, who knows? Maybe next time we hit you up, know that there's going to be something coming along with it.
Great. That's crazy. I can't believe I'm at 4. All right. Well, this was super fun. Thank you for having me. And you guys aren't streaming on Twitch, right? I was gonna raid somebody.
We're gonna stop going live because the episode is ending.
Oh, crazy. I guess we can jointly raid somebody else.
Sounds good.
But okay.
We'll figure it out. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. And then I know that we've said a while ago that we're bi-weekly. We are going to have to talk about Pound, and we're probably going to have to talk about LTC. So we will see you next week to talk about everything that happened, and hopefully talk about a pipsqueak fucking win, right? How about that?
You know what I'm saying?
Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Peace.